are kings of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Welcome back to the leadoff spot. Amanda Foster here alongside Jack Hunter at Dorn Park for a doubleheader between the Gatemen and the Braves. And Jack, this is a big game for both of these teams here in the West Division. They're kind of back-to-back in the standings, and Aiden Major on the mound for the first game. What do you expect to see from him, especially based off of the previous outings that he's had?
Yeah, well, I think it's pretty safe to say these are probably the two most important games of the year. You're 9 points back. You get 3 more cracks at Bourne, 2 of them today. And for Aiden, I think the biggest adjustment from his start 2 starts ago versus Hyannis to last start versus Chatham was controlling inside the zone. He's thrown a lot of strikes against Hyannis, but he's thrown a lot of middle fastballs, and hitters out here hit those. His last start versus Chatham, he got through 4 2/3 innings, 6 strikeouts. He was commanding his fastball in all parts of the zone. So I'm looking for him to do something similar against a Bourne team today that can really swing the bat. They're going to need a big start from him, and after his last start, you feel confident that you can get that from him.
Well, and you said the Gatemen are going to need a big start, and both games only having 7 innings as well could be a positive thing for the Gatemen. Not really sure. We're going to have to wait and see for that. We don't know exactly what the lineups are going to look like yet either, but it's safe to say that I think we can expect some changes in between the 2 games. So, Jack, what do you think the biggest keys for the Gatemen are going to be in both games today?
Well, you got to get off to a hot start. When you only have 7 innings to work with, you can't, you obviously don't have the 8th or the 9th inning to try to come back. And that might be a good thing for the Gatemen because, honestly, the biggest thing they've struggled with, especially in the past week, has been closing out games in the bullpen and late offense from the teams. They've been scoring first in most of their games. They've been getting out to early leads. They've been getting great starts. So just continuing that should help them in a 7-inning doubleheader. I think they can play it to an advantage today if they continue to play the way they have.
Well, and we'll see what Ryan Smythe has to say now with Jack on the Manager's Show.
Here on the Manager's Show with Gateman skipper Ryan Smythe. And, Coach, you were on the bench for the All-Star team in the West and the big win over the East over the weekend. You've got an extensive past of coaching All-Star teams both here in the Cape and in the NECBL. What's your favorite part of coaching in a game like that?
That's just being around all the other guys that, you're playing against all summer, and you don't know their personalities, and it's just a fun day overall, loose, relaxed, playing baseball, and to be there to support our guys, it was just a fun day. You've
got 2 big games today against a team you're trying to catch for the last spot in the playoffs, but you're giving the ball to Aiden Major and then Yoel Tejeda. How confident are you in those guys to give you some good starts today?
I mean, they're pretty pumped up for their starts. Major was saying he's going all 7, so we'll see. It's 2 of our better starters. We'll get them on the mound for a doubleheader and see where we go.
You're playing 2 7-inning games. How do you feel like the strategy or maybe the point of emphasis throughout the games change when you're playing 7 instead of 9?
7s go quick. They really do. So, hopefully from an arm perspective, we use maybe just 4 arms today. That'd be fantastic. That'd be, I think, ideal. And from the offensive side of things, we just got to, put some runs up early and hopefully coast to a win.
We're entering the last full week of the regular season. Is there anything that you've kind of learned over the course of the season with your first year being manager?
And there's plenty that I've learned, for sure. I mean, I come out here not just to teach, but to learn myself from our players, from our other coaches in the league. It's been an unbelievable experience that I've had a lot of fun with.
Last thing I got for you, obviously you got 10 games left. You got some ground to gain. What do you think is going to be the biggest thing or things for your team to run the table?
To run the table, well, that'd be a 10-game winning streak that we haven't had yet this summer, so that would be a fantastic way to finish it. But I just, like I've said all the time, I want these guys to keep competing. If they're going to compete and play baseball, they're a fun group to be around, and you want to come to the yard because of them. I've been on some successful teams out here that weren't necessarily as fun to be around. So as long as these guys keep competing and playing hard, then we'll see where it ends up.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Absolutely.
Wareham Walmart is your one-stop shop for all the essentials before and after the game. Visit them at 15 Toby Road in Wareham for all of your food, clothing, and more. Wareham Walmart is a proud supporter of the Wareham Gatemen.
Take me out to the ball game. But first, take me out to the beach with Red Jacket Resorts. The Red Jacket Resort Collection is the official hotel of the Cape Cod Baseball League. With 5 waterfront hotels in Yarmouth, Red Jacket Resorts are perfect for family fun and sun before every game. Book your next Mid-Cape escape at www.redjacketresorts.com.
Back on the leadoff spot, now taking a look at the standings, starting with the West. Cotuit still in the lead, followed by Hyannis, Falmouth, Bourne, and Wareham. A big game between Bourne and Wareham, as we talked about today. Wareham sitting 9 points back from Bourne. Also big for Bourne because they're only 1 point behind Falmouth right now.
Yeah, and it's getting to crunch time in the West. It's looking like things can change a lot more than they are in the East. Obviously, Hyannis could leapfrog Cotuit. They've been the hottest team this month. Bourne and Falmouth kind of locked up. In the East, it's looking like Whitey's going to run away, get that first place crown of the East in the regular season. And then obviously there's a little bit of a close spot 2 through 4, but none of these teams have gone on convincing enough winning or losing streaks to really convince you in the last 10 days that there could be a major jump in the standings, and then Chatham is still in the basement trying to figure things out.
And keeping things moving here on the leadoff spot, here's Jack with all-star pitcher Jake Faherty.
Here on the leadoff spot with Gatemen right-handed reliever Jake Faherty. Jake, you were one of 6 Gatemen that participated in the All-Star game over the weekend. What was it like to play in that game and help the West pick up a win over the East?
It was cool. It was good to meet all the guys from different schools and just go out there and play with the best of the best.
Yeah, and your catcher in that inning was Derek Bender, who plays for Bourne. Obviously, you've had a lot of camaraderie with the guys in this bullpen, a lot of guys that have come and gone this year, but what was it like to play with some of the other guys in the league, some guys that are probably going to be playing in Major League Baseball pretty soon?
It was good. It was really good to meet them and just spend the day with them, get to know them, and it was fun.
What's it like for you as a pitcher that is coming off of an injury this year, hasn't pitched too much in the spring seasons, to pitch consistently here?
It feels good. It helps confidence. It helps just to trust my arm and know I can pitch a lot without getting hurt.
What do you think is the maybe 1 or 2 things that you've improved the most upon this summer?
Just pitchability, command, stuff, just being able to get guys out consistently.
You're a guy that makes your money off of throwing hard and spinning the ball well. What do you think is the most important thing or most important things to being able to throw gas?
Just move right, throw hard. I don't know. It just kind of happens, but definitely move down the mound good and be able to throw it close to the zone.
All right, thanks, Jake.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
Whether it's auto, homeowners, business, or liability insurance, the folks at Legacy Insurance are sure to lend a helping hand. Legacy Insurance has built their reputation through their emphasis on service and loyalty to their customers. Stop into their Wareham office at 213 Main Street or call them at 508-295-1316.
Would you like to work for the United States Postal Service? We want you on our team. We have carrier openings all over the Cape. You must have a valid driver's license and a good driving record, and you must be able to pass a pre-employment background check. You can find all of the information on these jobs and other open positions at www.usps.com/careers. Your application will be accepted online only. Begin a great career at the United States Postal Service. Kiernan and McNally, LLP, is a law firm with an outstanding reputation for achieving successful results, helping a diverse range of clients with their legal needs. Our attorneys focus on your individual needs and achieve successful results. Call our office at 508-985-9888 to learn how ready Kiernan and McNally can help you.
Welcome into Dorn Park in Bourne, Massachusetts for what's sure to be an exciting day of baseball. It's the Wareham Gatemen versus the Bourne Braves in a doubleheader, making up a game originally scheduled for July 4th. Now today, Wareham sits 9 points back in the West Division standings and has the chance to make up some ground here as Bourne is right above them in those standings. Amanda Foster with you alongside Jack Hunter. Jack, as I mentioned, a big night, a big game, big day for the Gatemen, coming off of a two-day break, after the All-Star game. Aiden Major starting on the bump for the Gatemen in this first game.
Yeah, well, I hope I'm not exaggerating here, and I don't believe I am. I think this is the biggest day of the season for the team up to this point. You sweep the 2 games today, you're 5 points back with 9 games to play. That's pretty manageable, especially when you get another shot at Bourne later at Polar Park. You lose both of the games today, you're 13 points back of Bourne and maybe a playoff spot depending on how Falmouth does today, and it doesn't bode you well with 9 games left.
And as we get set to get started here, we'll run you through the Gatemen batting lineup. First, leading off is Bobby Bozer. Behind him, Garen Caulfield, Michael Brooks in the 3 spot, Grant Sherrod in the 4th, Grant Hussey in the 5 spot, Yadi Hernandez at 6, Josh Stevenson at 7th, Corey Morton at 8th, and JC Cologne rounding things out in the 9 spot. They'll take on Tristan Smith for the Bourne Braves. He'll be caught by Caden Bodine behind the plate, going around the infield, left to right. New Contradas at third base, Jonathan Vastine at shortstop, Josh Kuroda Grauer at second base, and Garrett Michelle at first. Out in the outfield, we've got Pete Shafreda, Sam Peterson, and Kendall Diggs from left to right. The dimensions here at Dorn Park, out to left field, it's 325, 330, it says, down near the foul pole out there right directly in our line of sight. Center field straight out is 390, 395, and right field is 315, so not the most spread out, you could say. There's some changing in dimensions. The wind's been blowing relatively strong in spurts here. That flag out in center field not waving too hard right now, but we've seen it in warm-ups get out there. So the wind could also play a part in getting some balls out, especially down that right field line.
Yeah, and Smith, a lefty on the mound, fastball in the low 90s. He's got a slider to go along with it. Was mostly a bullpen arm for Clemson this past year and has turned in some really good starts out here for Scott Landers' bunch. And the Gatemen have struggled at times to hit lefties. It kind of puts a wrench into their lineup, neutralizes a few of the good lefty hitters in the lineup. But you got to be encouraged, especially by Grant Hussey's 2-for-2 All-Star performance in which he had 2 hits off of lefties. So hopefully that can turn the tide or maybe be a sign of something.
We've got another All-Star besides Grant Hussey stepping into the box now to kick things off in Bobby Bozer. So we'll get set for the first pitch here just after 4 o'clock. Smith gets the sign, fires in low for ball 1. You can hear the wind there, the flag out in center field now blowing to the left. Second pitch fouled down the right field line into the trees. A cut from Bozer, just a little off. Bobby was unable to get a hit in the All-Star game, but he barreled a ball, and he said that was really all. He was happy with that. That's all he wanted to do. Swing and a miss, a big one for strike 2. So a 1-2 count to Bozer. Against Bourne on the 6th, he went 2 for 3 with a double and a hit by pitch. As Smith comes set for the 1-2. In low to even up the count at 2-2. Bodine behind the plate trying to frame it, but no luck as Jeff Merzell, our home plate umpire, gives the call to Bozer. And Smith comes set once again. Fires in, Bobby fouls it back just above our heads. Keeps the count at 2-2.
Yeah, well, the big reason why Bobby's in the leadoff spot is his ability to extend at bats, see pitches. He can get down on the count, and yet he's really not out of it because he has the ability to take really good 2-strike pitches.
Bozer leads the league and the team with 26 walks. He has for quite a while now. And he takes that one on the outside to load the count full. Bozer also leads the team with 29 games played. He's been here since the very beginning. Came in as a temp player. Has managed to stick around and doing some really good work out here in the Cape. And he takes one bouncing in the dirt and heads down to first base with a walk. And that'll bring up Garen Caulfield, the righty out of Arizona, playing second base today for the Gatemen as he usually does.
I really like this 1-2 combo for the Gatemen. Bozer's a guy that does a great job of getting on base, and Garen has great barrel control, puts the ball in play, does a great job of getting runners over, even getting runners in at times too. So you're really starting the game off strong here in a 7-inning contest.
And Caulfield batting .304 to lead the team. Ready's for the first pitch. On the inside edge for strike one. Caulfield, another all-star, 6 of them from the Gatemen. We're playing in Harwich on Saturday. And a quick pick back to first base, Bozer in standing. Not too much of a lead off the bag, just a check from Smith to Michelle. Now Smith gets the sign from Bodine, comes set. The 0-1 in high and outside for ball one. Caulfield in the last game against Bourne went 2 for 4 with 3 runs scored as he takes the 1-1 in high for ball two. Patience, the name of the game for the Gatemen right now, when something you think they're going to try to keep up throughout the whole night, take advantage of these balls and the pitches as that pitch comes inside for ball three. So a hitter's count 3-1 to Garen Caulfield with Bobby Bozer on first here with no outs in the top of the first inning. And Smith comes set for the pitch, has the sign. Fires in low in the dirt for ball four, and that will send Caulfield down. We'll have 2 runners on for Michael Brooks.
Yeah, and the Gatemen team this year, #1 in the league in walks, and it's because of plate appearances like the last 2, just patient. You know, not giving the pitcher extra strikes, and that's what makes hitters on the Cape, especially this year, so talented, is that they're not giving pitchers free pitches. You know, if you make a bad pitch, you're either going to get hit or it's going to not be in the zone.
Michael Brooks out of Kansas. First game with the Gatemen was on July 15th, so he's relatively not been here for too long as he takes the first pitch in for a strike, low in the zone. In his first at-bat with the Gatemen, he hit a home run, which was a pretty solid start to his career. That was against Orleans, so he has yet to face Bourne. And he takes the 0-1 in for a ball on the outside edge.
We've got a long day of baseball too, so you can drive up pitch counts in the first inning, get to the bullpen a little bit earlier, especially with a lot of games left to go here in consecutive days. It pays you favor.
And the 1-1 in, scooting Brooks back a little bit in the batter's box as he takes it for a ball. And Caden Bodine will head out to talk to his pitcher, Tristan Smith, as the count's 2-1 with 2 runners on base, both reaching via the walk for the Gatemen. We've got Bozer at second and Caulfield at first. Also some speed on those bases, which you got to be aware of if you're Bourne.
Yeah, and especially too with Bodine going out to the mound to talk with the pitcher, they're probably talking strategy here. If you wanted to take off and try to steal 2 bases, I think you could get a favorable jump here, because I don't think Tristan Smith on the mound is going to be really thinking about the runners. He's trying to think about how he can get back in the count and retire the batter.
Smith readies. Bozer and Caulfield with decent leads off their bases. And the 2-1 in, big cut and a miss from Brooks for strike 2. Still no outs here for the Gatemen, looking to get something going early. Here at Dorn Park, they've struggled on the road, as we are well aware of since we've been with the team since the beginning, and fans who've kept up also. Cut and a miss, fouled off the bat to keep Brooks alive. And you're thinking, even at this point in the season with just a little over a week remaining, to get one of these road wins, and this would be a big one for the Gatemen, is on their mind. Brooks. Ready's in the right-handed batter's box. Loose with his bat. Swinging it out in front of him as Smith gets the sign from Bodine. Both get set. Quick look back at Bozer. And the 2-2 popped up. Ranging over is the first baseman, Michelle. And he makes the grab in foul territory for out number 1.
Now batting, the right fielder from the University of South Carolina Upstate, number 4, Grant Sherrod.
We've got Grant Sherrod now coming up to the plate, but first Bodine going out to have another chat with Smith. Now accompanied by Merzell, the home plate umpire.
It's kind of odd. Scott Landers asked Merzell to go out with Bodine.
Might have seen something on the last pitch, wanting to make sure. Sherrod, the righty, 4th righty in a row for the Gatemen. Steps into the box to face the lefty Smith. Bozer moving around at second. First pitch comes in and swinging is Sherrod for strike number 1.
It's kind of an odd atmosphere today. This is our really second true day game of the year, and you can hear kind of a pin drop in the stadium right now. Usually at Cape games you get kind of the nice buzz of the fans.
There are fans here. There's not a lot of buzzing, you're right. The 0-1 comes in, lined out in the air to right field. Coming on in it is Kendall Diggs, and he makes the grab for out number 2, and both runners stay on their bases. Pretty shallow pop-up from Sherrod.
It's the second batter in a row where Tristan Smith has delivered a fastball inside and kind of jammed a right-handed bat. This time it wasn't very well hit the right field, so Bozer and Caulfield had no chance to move up 90 feet.
Grant Hussey now stepping into the left-handed batter's box. Lefty on lefty now. 2 runners on, 2 outs now for the Gatemen here in the top of the first, no score. Bozer moving around a lot. Smith will step off the rubber to recollect himself. Bozer kind of just taunting Smith a little bit every time he looks back at him. The first pitch into Hussey bounces before the plate. No movement from the base runners as it's blocked by Bodine. Hussey in the last game against Bourne went 2 for 4, had 4 RBIs. It was one of arguably his best games of the season. As he waits for the 1-0 pitch. Smith comes set, looks at Bozer back at second. Hussey pops it up, ranging back, and coming in now is the center fielder Sam Peterson, calling off his shortstop Vastine to make the grab and the 3rd out of the inning. So the Gatemen get 2 runners on base, both via walk, but unable to bring them around. The score stays 0-0 as we head into the bottom of the first on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Our title sponsor of the 100-year anniversary is Baseball Cloud, data that tells the whole story. This season, Baseball Cloud pays homage to the past while building the future. Their technology will help tell the story of the next 100 years of Cape Cod Baseball League history, inspiring and exciting the next generation of baseball players and fans. Learn how to bring the most accurate data and analytics to your organization by visiting baseballcloud.com.
Cape Cod Coca-Cola thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League and refreshing yourself with ice-cold Coca-Cola products. Please remember to recycle empty bottles, cans, and other recyclable materials. It takes only 6 recycled plastic bottles to make a new baseball cap.
Back in Dorn Park now for the bottom of the first inning. Gatemen unable to get a run across despite getting 2 runners on base, both via walk. Now Aiden Major will try to relatively do the same, keep any runs from scoring on the part of the Braves as he takes the bump. We'll take you around the Gatemen out in the field real quickly. Aiden Major being caught by Yadi Hernandez behind the plate. Michael Brooks is at third base, JC Cologne at shortstop, Garen Caulfield at second, and Grant Hussey over at first base. Around the outfield, right to left, we've got Grant Sherrod, Bobby Bozer, and Josh Stevenson. And Jack, we've talked about it, Aiden Major has become one of the more reliable starters for the Gatemen. His last outing against Chatham, he went 4.2 innings, allowed 3 hits, but no runs and 6 strikeouts, and Ryan Smythe and the rest of the Gatemen and the pitching staff all hoping that he can go a significant amount of time again this afternoon.
Yeah, don't let the 5.51 ERA fool you. He's been very solid recently, especially his last start where he really put it all together. I've been seeing a lot of improvement over his summer, and he's got the stuff to be a wipeout pitcher. Fastball, slider, changeup, all very solid. He's been mixing around a curveball a little bit too. You know, he's one of those guys, along with Tejeda, who's pitching in game 2, where when he's on, it's going to be very tough to hit him.
He'll take on Sam Peterson to get things started. Peterson, the Iowa Hawkeye, last against Wareham went 3 for 5 with 3 runs and 4 stolen bases. First pitch comes in inside for ball number 1. Peterson batting .271 out here with Bourne. He's played in 17 games. So he takes the 1-0 pitch in for ball number 2. Major just a bit low in the zone in that last pitch. Gets a sign from Hernandez. Fires in low once again. Put the count at 3-0. And he readies. The 3-0 comes in for called strike number 1 on the inside part of the plate. Sun peeking out from the clouds now. Decent amount of cloud cover. 3-1. Lined foul to make the count 3-2. Foul down the third baseline. Major nods, gets the sign from Hernandez. Comes set, chopper over, picked up by Brooks, running over at third, fires over to Hussey for out number 1. Brooks ranging over a little bit in front of JC Cologne near the shortstop area to make the grab and get the throw on the run.
Yeah, big comeback in the count there from Major. Down 3 balls and 0 strikes. You put Peterson on, he's a guy that's going to run. You could take second base and it could spiral from there, but coming back and a great play by Brooks at third, recognizing Peterson's speed, knowing that he has to cut that ball off from Cologne and make a quick throw to first.
Jonathan Vastine now up to the plate in the left-handed batter's box, takes first pitch in for strike 1. Vastine, an all-star for the Braves. Had 1 hit in 3 at-bats over the weekend and 2 walks. He takes the pitch in low, bouncing before the plate to even up the count at 1-1. Vastine out of Vanderbilt. Tim Corbin said he's one of the best pure athletes on the team. Can do pretty much everything as he takes the pitch from Major in low for ball 2. Major nods on the mound, gets set. Fires in and a liner rolling in the grass. Charging on it is JC Cologne. Makes the grab, bouncing. And Hussey unable to corral the ball in his glove. Vastine will reach first base safely.
They're going to rule that a hit, as they should. The ball was hit very softly to the left side, and Cologne made a great play on it to come up and all in one motion, grab it with his glove and sling it to first. Didn't pat the glove or anything. The throw was just a little low, and Hussey couldn't dig it out. If he had, it would have been a bang-bang play, but I'd have to think that Vastine was going to be safe nonetheless.
That is what it looked like from our perspective on the first base line. Now Derek Bender comes to the box, takes first pitch in for strike 1, and if you've been paying any attention to Cape League baseball, you know all about Derek Bender. All-star. He's kind of become the face of the league, it seems like. Rightfully so. He's an energetic guy. People seem to really like to play with him. He's got an 0-1 count. Lines that pitch over into the right field stands. Doesn't hit anybody, and now we've got some kids running after it. So an 0-2 count to Bender with one runner on and one out here in the bottom of the first inning. Bender batting .385 this summer so far. Major comes set, fires in. There's another liner this time, not out of the park, just down the first base line, bouncing in front of the visitor's dugout.
Good job by Major, jamming him inside with these fastballs, because Bender at the plate, what he wants to do is he wants to get extended and go the other way and slap line drives to the right field side. And you get in on his hands, it's going to be really difficult for him to do that.
Major with a pick back to first, Vastine sliding in head first safely. Bender, in the last time these two teams faced on July 6th, went 1 for 3 with 2 RBIs and 3 walks. Major comes set. 0-2 comes in a bit low. Hernandez firing down to first base as Vastine takes off to second, and the throw into second is not in time.
That's what Bourne does. They run, and I didn't think Major was too slow to the plate. I thought Hernandez got rid of it really quick. The throw wasn't perfect, but it was still a very good throw, and yet Vastine still able to beat it to second.
You got fast guys on the bases. You can do everything perfectly and still not get the result you want. As the 0-2 comes in, lined out to right field. Charging in on it is Sherrod. It bounces in front of him. Pick it up and fire it in to the infield. Hernandez grabbing it as he runs up the third base line. Vastine advances to third, and Bender sits at first base with a single.
Yeah, not to say Derek Bender doesn't have power, because he totally does. There's a reason he was in the home run derby, but his approach this summer, and it's working because he leads the league in batting average, has just been getting the barrel to the baseball, has been going the other way, like we mentioned, getting his hands extended, keeping the barrel in the zone, and not trying to swing out of his shoes, and it's been working. I mean, he's almost hitting 400 now, and now moving runners to the corners with just one out.
As you said, runners on the corners now for Caden Bodine, who comes in batting .379. He was also an all-star as he takes the first pitch in low for ball 1. Bodine out of Coastal Carolina, as is Derek Bender on first base. And it's always fun when college teammates can come out here and play. As the pitch from Major bounces before the plate and blocked by Hernandez to make the count 2-0. Just one out for the Braves here in the bottom of the first. Runners on the corners. Bodine stands in the left-handed batter's box, taking on the righty Major. So he takes a swing and fires one out high in the air out into left field, ranging over is Stevenson, and he makes the grab right near the line. Vastine will come in to score, tagging up from third, but Bender will stay at first base. And the Braves strike first.
Now batting, the right fielder from the University of Arkansas.
Bodine did his job, and the ball was just in fair territory, so even though it was deep enough, it's not like Stevenson would have done this anyway, but there's no chance you could just let the ball drop as it was slicing towards the line. Hit it deep enough, there wasn't really even a play into home, and that's what Bourne has done this year. They've hit the ball well, they've stolen bases, they've moved runners along, and they get them in, and that's why they're one of the best offenses in the league.
Standing in now is the lefty Kendall Diggs. Takes the first pitch for strike. Not everybody needs to hit a whole lot of home runs. The Braves not hitting a lot of home runs, and like you said, still finding ways to score, playing maybe a little bit more of the small ball approach, but if it works, it works, and not going to try to change it. Bender with a big jump off first base. Major takes a step off the rubber to recollect himself. So 2 outs now here in the bottom of the first. Braves lead 1-0. 0-1 pitch comes in for strike 2 to Diggs on the outer edge of the plate. Major with a chance now to close things out with minimal damage done. He readies. Pick back to first base, Bender in standing as he was just about a step off the bag. Diggs, the sophomore out of Arkansas, playing in right field today. Major comes set at the belt. Fires in just a bit high for ball 1 to make the count 1-2.
Went to the changeup there, and we've seen it with a few changeups so far. He hasn't really been able to get down through it, so he missed a little out there, but also you want to get that changeup down. It was about belt high.
Off-speed pitch is something he's been working on all season. Fires in the 1-2 low in the dirt. Hernandez fires down to second base. Tag not in time as Bender swipes a bag. So 2-2 count now to Diggs with a runner in scoring position in his college teammate, Derek Bender.
That was one of
Pardon
those.
me, not college teammate.
That was one of those vault steals there where he was jumping way off the bag, and Major didn't step off or throw back, and so he was halfway down to second base.
And the pitch comes in low in the dirt, and Bender trying for another bag. And he gets in safely underneath the tag of Brooks down at third base, and Brooks not looking like he believes that one. Talking with our umpire, Mark Piantadosi, who had moved over, and he was to the right of the third base bag from our perspective over near the shortstop position. He's now running over to talk to Ryan Smythe, who's come out of the dugout. Jack, I will say I was not able to see that personally, as where Yadi Hernandez was standing, couldn't quite see the tag. And Smythe not happy with that call. We've got a runner on third base now, a full count to Diggs. Major trying to get out of this one. The 3-2. Down the third base line, foul into the seats over near the bathroom. No chance for anybody to make that grab. And Diggs stays alive, and Major with another chance.
Yeah, and I didn't get to see a great look at that tag there, kind of impeded by a home plate umpire and the catcher, but I do understand Ryan Smythe's frustration in that you can't be giving teams extra outs, especially in a game like this.
3-2, bouncing in the dirt. Major goes to pick it up. It bounces off of him. He flips underhand to Hussey and gets there in time to get the third out. So some quick reaction time from Aiden Major. Gets the third out. The Braves let one run come across. They take a 1-0 lead here as we head into the top of the second. The Gatemen will try to respond quickly.
Curry College is where you go to become anything you want. Curry prepares students to engage in successful careers with learning beyond the classroom. Explore undergraduate programs, NCAA Division III athletics, and continuing education and graduate studies, including fifth-year master's programs at curry.edu.
We'd like to welcome our title sponsor of the 100-year anniversary, Baseball Cloud. This summer, Baseball Cloud's data and analytics tools are used across the league to enhance player development and your experience with live in-game and post-game data. Baseball Cloud is excited to inspire and excite the next generation of players and fans and bring the most accurate data and analytics to your organization. Learn more at baseballcloud.com. Back in Dorn Park, the Braves with a 1-0 lead over the Gatemen after getting one run across in the bottom of the first inning. Aiden Major able to work out of a bit of a bind with a runner on third, and the Gatemen now trying to respond quickly. They'll start off with Yadi Hernandez to lead things off here in the second. We do have a number change for Smith, the Braves pitcher. If anybody out there is keeping score or anything, he's now wearing number 12 instead of 26. But of course, no other changes as of yet, as we're just in the second inning here. A reminder, the teams will only play 7 innings in these doubleheader games today. So you want to kind of get as much as you can in early if you're both teams here, honestly, and the Gatemen wanting to respond as soon as they can. Yadi Hernandez, the righty, transferred to Missouri over the summer, entered the portal when he was up here in the Cape, out of Seton Hall, 2 years there previously. He readies for the first pitch. Lines one out straight away to center. Ranging over is Sam Peterson. and he'll get under it and make the grab easily for out number 1.
Well, with Smith's number change, it makes sense because there was a meeting on the mound with the home plate umpire in the first inning, and you can kind of backtrack and maybe think that's what that was about.
Josh Stevenson now getting ready, coming into the left-handed batter's box. Another transfer now going to the Ohio State University, previously playing for LSU. Takes the first pitch in for a strike on the upper part of the zone. The Ohio State. Very important, you have to make that distinction. Smith shaking off a few pitches from Bodine behind the plate. Comes set, fires in the 0-1, and a bit low, just below Stevenson's knees to even up the count at 1-1. Third baseman New Contradas in up on the infield grass here. Stevenson takes the 1-1, high and outside.
He's read the scouting report.
There
Josh has loved to bunt in early counts, and Contradas is on high alert.
Stevenson's got some speed on him. 6'1", 197. He can get down the line pretty quickly. See, fouls one back into the left field stands behind home plate. So 2-2 count to the lefty. 1 out here in the top of the second. Braves up 1-0 over the Gatemen. Wind blowing the flag out in center field to the left. Stevenson with a big cut and a miss for strike 3 and out number 2 of the inning.
It was a high slider. Wasn't a great pitch by any means, but Stevenson was kind of caught off guard by it and fanned under it, I think thinking he was probably going to get a fastball up in the zone.
Corey Morton now stepping into the right-handed batter's box out of UConn. Half swing at the first pitch, fouls it bouncing down the third baseline. And our third base coach, Mike Mobbs, picks it up and tosses it into the Braves dugout. Morton still looking for his first hit as a Gateman. Takes the 0-1 in high and outside to even up the count at 1-1. Morton readies. Smith gets the sign. Fires in a bit inside to make the count 2-1.
You get the sense that every day Corey Morton is starting to become more comfortable being here. The first day, first game, he was here, struck out 4 times. He's starting to put together better rounds of batting practice and better at-bats.
Getting a little more talkative, too. Big cut and a miss for strike 2. To even up the count at 2-2. 2s across the board, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs to Morton. He's DHing today. He was named to the NCAA Gainesville Regional All-Tournament team and started in all 61 games for UConn. So he takes the pitch in low to load the count full at 3-2. He batted .290 on the season, .513 slugging percentage. He also had the second most stolen bases on the team with 23. And the 3-2 comes in inside. Oh, called strike 3 to Morton. He'll head back to the dugout. And that's 3 up, 3 down for the Gatemen here in the top of the second inning. We'll be right back on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Milton Cat is proud to support the Cape Cod Baseball League. From paving and landscaping to recreational boating and facility management, Milton Cat has the right equipment, parts, service, and technology to keep you working. Visit miltoncat.com to learn more.
T-Mobile is proud to sponsor the Cape Cod Baseball League. T-Mobile is committed to serve those who serve, and that's why they go above and beyond for our active duty military, veterans, and first responders. Visit your neighborhood T-Mobile store or T-Mobile.com to learn more.
The 99 Restaurant and Pub is proud to be a sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Visit your local 99 and try their famous colossal lobster rolls piled high on grilled brioche and served hot buttered or with just the right amount of mayo and celery with fries and coleslaw. The 99, always the real deal.
Bourne with a 1-0 lead over the Gatemen here heading into the bottom of the second at Dorn Park. Gatemen unable to get any runners on bases or across home plate in the top of the second inning, leaving it to Aiden Major on the bump now once again to get things done quickly, get the offense up to the plate.
Now batting, the second
Josh
baseman
Kuroda
for
Grauer
University, number 13, Joshua
to lead things
Kuroda
off
Grauer.
for the Braves here in the bottom of the second inning. Playing second base today out of Rutgers, the junior, standing at 6 feet tall. Takes the first pitch in the dirt for ball 1. In Bourne's last game against Wareham on July 6th, Kuroda Grauer went 1 for 5. Went 1 for 3 the night previously as they played back-to-back games. Takes a hack and lines one down the left field line, just foul.
He hit it hard, but the ball had a lot of hook on it. I mean, it was started off right when it's hit well into fair territory, and by the time it landed, it was pretty solidly in foul territory. So you just got to try to straighten it out and give that thing some backspin instead of some side spin.
Kuroda Grauer obviously making solid contact with that, had run all the way pretty much down to first base, now coming back and grabbing his bat, getting ready to go in the batter's box once again, now with a 1-1 count. Major gets the sign, fires it in, low and bouncing in the batter's box for ball 2. So a little bit of a control issue for Major starting out here in the first few innings. Comes set, fires in, popped up foul by Kuroda Grauer, over back behind us. So a 2-2 count now to the Scarlet Knight. He's batting an even 200 in his time with the Braves this season. 8 hits, 10 hits, 8 runs in 50 at-bats. 2-2 comes in, liner, ranging over his J.C. Colon at shortstop, makes a spin and fires over to Hussey, who's unable to pick it up out of the dirt. And Kuroda Grauer will be safe at first base.
Looked to be a curveball on the outside corner. Kuroda Grauer did a good job of getting the barrel to it. Smoked it to short, and Cologne made a great play on it, except for he just spiked to throw again, and that's one I think Hussey would have liked to dig out, but he's unable to. We're going to wait to score him, but I would bet that would be a hit if I had to guess. Nope, they're going to give a throwing error. 0 for 1.
All right. Hey, you were right about the last one, I believe, as the first pitch into Garrett Michelle comes in low in the dirt for ball 1. There was a call earlier where I don't know if you made the call before, you maybe just agreed with the scoring decision is what it might have been. So a 1-0 count now to Garrett Michelle, the left-handed batter, first baseman. Takes the 1-0 pitch in low for ball 2.
I'm hitting like 850 this year on scoring decisions.
Hey, that's pretty impressive.
I got to regress to the mean at some point.
Ryan Smythe now coming out of the Gateman dugout, calling time. He'll head out to talk to Aiden Major and bring in the rest of the infield as well. Braves have one runner on first base in Kuroda Grauer, no outs in the bottom of the second. They've got a 1-0 lead. You've got to imagine Smythe is partly just trying to maybe calm Major down, see how he's feeling, give him a little advice on how to get out of this, because there's no way that they want to take out their starting pitcher even remotely close to this point in the game.
And you can't afford to. Your bullpen is already short numbers today. You're short a few guys like Will Koger who are normally available, but you're having them start tomorrow. Same thing with Wozniak. You're having them start on Wednesday. So, you might only have 5 or 6 guys to use in the 2 games today. So you've got to be, even if some guys aren't pitching well, you just got to try to eat some innings because you don't really have much of a choice.
The mound meeting now over. Everyone's set back in their positions, and the 2-0 comes in. Called for a called strike at the knees. And Kuroda Grauer, making the jump on that pitch, slides in safely at second base. So a runner in scoring position now for Michelle, who's got a 2-1 count. Major with a look back at second base. Now fires the ball in low in the dirt, and it skips past Yadi Hernandez's glove. And Kuroda Grauer will advance to third base.
Just yanked a fastball in the dirt, and Hernandez tried to backhand it and really couldn't. And this is what Bourne did last time these two teams met. This is what they've done to pretty much everybody all year. They get on first base and they find a way to third and find their way in.
Whatever works. And the 3-1 in on the outside part of the plate for ball number 4, sending Garrett Michelle down to first base. So runners on the corners now for the Braves. Still no outs in the bottom of the second.
Now batting, the third baseman from Arizona State University, number 3, New Contreras.
We'll bring up New Contreras out of Arizona State, playing third base for the Braves today. Batting 143 so far in his time up here on the Cape. Takes a big swing and a miss at a ball in low for strike 1. Contreras has not played against the Gatemen so far this season. His first game on July 7th for the Braves. Pick back to first base from Major, sliding in safely is Michelle. Michelle stands at first base. Josh Kuroda Grauer over at third. Contreras looking to get his first RBIs of his Cape League season. He takes the pitch in low for ball 1 to even up the count. Major, look back at first. Gets the sign from Hernandez behind the dish. Comes set at the belt. Fires in the 1-1. Popped up. Hernandez tracking it. Now called off by Michael Brooks over near the third baseline to make the grab. So runners remain at their bases. An infield fly.
Now batting, the left fielder from Rutgers University, number 24.
Got a little bit caught in the sun there. Major shielding his eyes trying to find it, but Brooks had it tagged all the way. So 1 out now. Pete Shafreda stands in the left-handed batter's box. Still runners on the corners. 1 out. Major comes set at the belt. Fires in strike number 1.
Some of these guys, especially at the bottom of the lineup, Michelle, Contreras, and Chafreda, all with strikeout capabilities, pretty high strikeout numbers on the year. So if you're Major, it's not impossible necessarily to get a few strikeouts here and leave this runner on third stranded.
The 0-1 low in the dirt, blocked by Hernandez. Chafreda with 24 strikeouts this season, batting .200 with the Braves in 60 at-bats. In the last game against the Gatemen on July 6th, he went 0 for 2 with 4 walks and 1 strikeout. He's got 16 walks total this season. Stands at 6'1", 230 pounds, pretty tall guy, and takes a big cut and a miss for strike number 2. Major close to grabbing the second out now. Quick pick back to first base. Michelle in standing. Wind picking up once again, as I'm sure you can hear over the microphones, as Major fires in low in the dirt for ball 2. Hernandez working early behind the plate to keep the balls in front of him and keep Kuroda Grauer over at third from coming in and swiping home. Major comes set, fires in, and a 3/4 of a swing. It doesn't matter, he still swung, and that'll be strike 3 for Pete Shafreda, and he'll head back to the Braves dugout as out number 2 in the bottom of the second.
The center fielder from University of Iowa, number 23.
Aiden was listening there. You got guys in the bottom of the lineup that are prone to make weak contact, prone to strike out. Now you get back to the top, but there's 2 outs, so you getting out, you can keep a run off the board.
Sam Peterson now swings and fouls the first pitch back behind him into the netting. Peterson grounding out to third base in his first plate appearance in the first inning. So the Braves have already reached the top of their order once again here just in the bottom of the second inning. 0-1 comes in low and outside. Michelle gets a jump and heads down to second base, and Hernandez fakes a throw, but doesn't make it. The smart move with Corota Grauer over at third base.
Well, Michelle was getting ready to stop him between first and second if Hernandez threw that ball. He was trying to get in a little bit of a pickle to get Corota Grauer home.
Good read by the catcher. Gives a sign to Major, who fires it in for called strike number 2. So Major with a slight advantage with a 1-2 count to Peterson. 2 outs in the bottom of the second. Braves with runners on the corners, or runners on second and third now. And a big looping pitch comes in, fouled back into the netting behind home plate to keep the count at 1-2.
Well, that's that curveball that he's been working on this summer that he hasn't really thrown very much at school, and it just gives the batter something else to see, something else to, think about, and that's really ultimately what you're trying to do when you add more pitches to your arsenal.
The count still stands at 1-2. Major with a quick look back to second. Fires in. Another foul off the tip of the bat of Peterson to keep him alive in the batter's box. Peterson named first team All Big Ten in 2023. He was also a Big Ten All-Tournament selection. Batted .319 on the season. He led the team with 18 hit by pitches and 20 stolen bases. We talked a little bit about his speed in his first plate appearance. You don't want him to get on the bases again here. As he pops one up high into the air. Foul once again. Jack, you're looking up and scaring me. I thought that was going to come land on us.
Well, I'm just making sure it's not going to do that. If I don't see it, then that means I think we're in the clear.
I think we should be. I have no idea where that one landed, but not on us, and that's what matters. Still a 1-2 count to Peterson. Major gets a sign from Hernandez. Fires it in. And a chopper down the third baseline foul. Peterson fighting to stay alive. Peterson played in the Appalachian League last summer. Got some summer ball experience. Michelle with a big lead off second, fires in. Called strike 3 from Aiden Major to end the inning. And the Braves have runners on but are unable to cross the plate. The score remains 1-0 in favor of Bourne as we head into the top of the third here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Cape Cod 5 is proud to be a long-standing supporter of the Cape Cod Baseball League and its contribution to the local economy as a treasured summer attraction. Cape Cod 5 is a community bank serving customers throughout Cape Cod, the islands, and southeastern Massachusetts. Founded in 1855, the bank's mission is to enrich the lives of those it serves while contributing to the health and vitality of its communities. Cape Cod 5 provides a full range of banking solutions, including personal and business banking, residential mortgages, investment management, and trust services.
The Gatemen are proud to partner with Franklin Sports as the official batting gloves of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Throughout the summer, all Cape League teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves courtesy of Franklin. From the Cape League to the big leagues, it's all hands on deck. JC Cologne set to start things off for the Gatemen here in the top of the third inning. The Braves lead 1-0. JC Cologne will face Tristan Smith still on the bump for the Braves. Cologne coming in batting .213. Wareham's last game against Catuit, he went 1 for 3 with a double, an RBI, and a walk. JC playing shortstop. He's moved over to that position since the departure of Sebastian Murillo, and he says it's given him a lot of confidence on the field and at the plate. He feels like he doesn't have to think as much, just kind of in general in playing baseball, because he's so much more comfortable playing shortstop, as that's where he plays typically when he's at Mizzou in college. So Cologne steps into the right-handed batter's box, standing at 6'2". Takes the first pitch on the inside part of the plate for strike number 1. having a bit of a conversation now with Caden Bodine behind the plate, who's adjusting. Looked like it might have been his earpiece with how he hears the pitch call. So pretty important thing to keep track of. Big swing and a miss from Cologne for strike 2. Smith able to make quick work of the Gatemen in the top of the second inning, retiring them 1-2-3. Looking to do that again here. He fires in the 0-2 high, and Bodine doesn't even try to make a grab for it as it goes back and hits the netting behind the plate. So one of those pitches that seem to just kind of slip out of your hand. And the 0-1 comes off JC's bat, off the glove. He runs down to first base and he gets hit in the neck, sending his helmet off. It was a bit of a confusing play there. JC running down to first base as it was a dropped third strike coming off of Bodine's glove. He'll stay at first base. Doesn't look to be in much pain. Lipped the ball, hit off the bottom of his helmet, sending it off his head, presumably.
Yeah, well, he was running, or at least what the umpire said, in foul territory there. So if he was running in fair territory, that ball hit him, he was going to be called out, but made a good effort to be in the baseline.
Bobby Bozer now up to bat. Takes a big swing and a miss for strike 1, so we're back at the top of the Gateman order now. Bozer walked in his first plate appearance. Pick back to first base, Cologne sliding in safely. Smith, since he's a lefty, can see Cologne very, very easily, so keeping him close to the bag. Fires in the 0-1 on the outside edge. A throwback down to first base. Garrett Michelle having to jump up to keep that one from getting over his head, so Cologne slides in safely once again. Cologne's also got a big rip in the back of his pants. So he's sliding in head first, but you got to think if he slides in feet first anywhere, that rip might get a little bit bigger.
Might hurt a little bit.
There you go. You got to wear like the padded sliding shorts or something. 1-1 on the outside edge for ball 2. Cologne's got 2 stolen bases on the season. He likes to run on the base pass. He's got some speed to him, but hasn't always worked out in his favor. And the 2-1 comes in. Bozer pops it up. Foul. Somewhere again. Hit somewhere behind us. So it counts 2-2. I'm losing these foul balls pretty quickly. But as long as they don't come land on my head, I'm okay. So Bozer now adjusting before he gets back in the box with a 2-2 count. No outs, 1 runner on first. Cologne loose, kind of waving his arms about as he takes his lead off first base. The 2-2, cut and a miss from Bozer for strike 3. Bozer with a slow walk back to the dugout.
Number 20, Caulfield.
Garen Caulfield will now step up to the plate. Caulfield also walking in his last plate appearance back in the first inning. He and Bozer both reached base, but were unable to come around to score. Looking to change that up now and get a number on the board. First pitch from Smith comes in for strike 1 on the inner part of the plate.
Yeah, Smith's been able to establish a fastball a little more up in the zone this inning. He got Bozer to swing on an elevated fastball, gets called strike 1 on a high-end fastball. You got to be able to establish that pitch if you want to go to the slider later in the at-bat.
The 0-1 cut and a miss. Cologne slides in safe, feet first back into first base. He was caught making a big jump off of first base. Bodine chucked the ball down to Michelle, but Cologne able to slide back in safely.
I've really no idea what JC was doing there, and I think Bodine I think they're all kind of amazed that they didn't pick him off, because the throw from Bodine to Michelle beat Cologne back to the bag by a long shot, and Cologne was just able to maneuver the tag.
0-2 count to Caulfield. Takes the ball high. Cologne's been caught in a few of those situations this year where he gets stuck out on the bases, and this time, like you said, he was able to maneuver the tag and get in. So 1 out, 1 runner on base. Smith checks back to first. Cologne sliding in head first safely.
Yeah, and a lot of base runners against lefties will try to get really big leads and kind of force them, but when you have that quick move where you step off and sling it, it forces guys to stay closer to the bag.
Smith fires in the 1-2, fouled back into the netting by Caulfield to stay alive. Sun coming out in full force now. When we started this game, it was fairly cloudy. Now spreading all across the field here at Dorn Park. Gatemen in their road blues with the cranberry lettering. Bourne wearing their home whites. Smith readies. Fires in the 1-2. Just a bit below the knees to even up the count at 2-2 for Garen Caulfield. Caulfield coming into today had 10 walks to his name this season, now with 11 after walking back in the first inning. Takes a pitch on the inner part for called strike 3, and he'll head back to the dugout for out number 2 here in the top of the 3rd inning.
And Smith's fastball has good life to it, and it's got good run. That fastball kind of froze Caulfield because it started off inside on the plate and then found its way back to the corner.
Michael Brooks now, the third baseman, coming up to the plate. Another pick back to first base. J.C. Cologne almost face planting, sliding in and sticking his face down in the dirt near the first base bag. Might have gotten some dirt in the pants with that slide back.
Oh, definitely, especially with that hole in the back.
You got to be careful. First pitch to Brooks comes in high for ball 1. Brooks had a pop up out in foul territory to the first baseman, Garrett Michelle, in his last at bat. Another pick back to first. Cologne basically doing burpees up there now. He's got a little smile on his face. So a 1-0 count to Michael Brooks. Smith readies. Fires in high and inside for ball 2.
I think the difference between Smith in the first and now the 3rd inning is I think he's being a lot less timid. He's just kind of letting it fly with the fastball. It's getting a little more zip on it, getting some more swings and misses.
There's a swing and a miss for strike 1 from Brooks right there. Getting a little more comfortable as the game goes on. Because a lot of these guys have had breaks for the last 2 days, and last time they went 2 days without baseball was probably a pretty long time since they've been up here. Another pick back to first. Cologne sliding in safely.
Yeah, well, Bourne swipes a lot of bags, and they also treat the running game very seriously on the other side. Cologne is getting a lot of attention over there.
2-1 comes in. Brooks is swing and a miss again for strike 2. 2's across the board now. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs for the Gatemen here in the top of the 3rd. Brooks readjusting in the box, kicking some dirt up. Waggling the bat in front of him, trying to stay loose. Smith looks over at J.C. Cologne at first base. Fires in. Called strike 3 for Michael Brooks, and he's retired as the 3rd out of the inning and the second called 3rd strike of the inning as well. We'll head to the bottom of the 3rd as the Gatemen try to keep the Braves from putting any more runs up on the board and get the momentum back in their corner.
Earn a bachelor's or master's degree, complete a certificate, or take a single course through the Division of Continuing Education and Graduate Studies at Curry College. In-person and online classes run days, evenings, and weekends in Milton and Plymouth. To learn more about programs in accounting, criminal justice, education, nursing, and our new 100% online MBA, visit curry.edu.
Fundamentals of Caterpillar machinery, generators, and marine engines, visit MiltonCat.com, your area cat dealer. Milton Cat, the Cape and Islands Caterpillar dealer, is proud to be a sponsor of today's game.
T-Mobile is proud to sponsor the Cape Cod Baseball League. T-Mobile is committed to serve those who serve, and that's why they go above and beyond for our active duty military and veterans. Visit your neighborhood T-Mobile store or T-Mobile.com to learn more.
Bourne seemingly in some solid control here as we head into the bottom of the third inning. They're up 1-0, and Tristan Smith on the bump has been able to keep the Gatemen from really getting much momentum at all. Aiden Major will come on now for the third inning and try to do something of the same. Had some issues with control the last 2 innings. We'll try to right that and get more comfortable pretty quickly. Jonathan Vastine stepping into the box to kick things off for the Braves. He reached base on a single and then stole a base back in the first inning. First pitch comes in on the lower part of the zone for strike 1.
Major desperately needs a quick and easy inning. The 2 innings he's thrown have been very laborious.
0-1 bouncing in the dirt before the plate to make the count 1-1. Yeah, he's struggled, whether it's in terms of controlling the pitchers or just having runners on base and having to worry about those. And quick and easy is what the Gatemen want right now. Big cut and a miss from Vastine for strike 2. You need to get a little bit of confidence back too with a couple clean strikeouts or a couple clean plays. Just a light breeze now. Major fires in the 1-2 low to even up the count at 2-2. Vastine coming into the game, batting .313. Had a hit in the All-Star game back on Saturday. Takes another pitch, bouncing in the dirt before the plate. We've got a full count, 3-2 now to Vastine. Had 2 walks in the All-Star game as well. Major gets the sign, comes set at the belt, fires in low, and Vastine will head down to first base. And the Braves start off the bottom of the third with a runner on.
Yeah, Major tried to mix up that batter plate appearance with some changeups and curveballs, which are good pitches to throw against lefties to neutralize them if you can get them across, and just struggling with this command of his secondary pitches.
Derek Bender now in the box. Always a dangerous guy. Hernandez fires down to first base after the pitch comes in for a ball. Vastine with a sizable jump, but gets back in standing. Bender, as I mentioned, out of Coastal Carolina. Leads the league in batting average, batting .385 coming into today. 21 RBIs for 5th in the league. Takes a pitch in on the lower part of the plate for strike 1. Bender, another big guy, standing at 6'1", 210. Check back to first. Vastine sliding in safely. Lots of checks back to first from both pitchers today so far. And you mentioned it, Bourne likes the run game, so something that the Gatemen are going to have to be aware of throughout the night. 1-1. Line foul back into the seats behind the first base dugout.
You can tell this is a good pitching matchup today. A lot of scouts here, and the scouts have kind of started to go away a little bit after the MLB draft, but you can tell there's a good pitching matchup when you get here today, and they're all there.
Major fires in the dirt for ball 2. So even up the count once again, 2-2 for Derek Bender. You got to imagine the scouts might also be watching guys like Derek Bender.
Yeah.
And some other ones around here. But yeah, you get a good feeling it's going to be something fun when there are scouts here at this point in the season. Vastine with a decent lead off first base. Major comes at Vastine running. Bender chops one into the gap, diving past J.C. Cologne. Stevenson picks it up and fires into third base, but sliding in safely into third base is Vastine. And Bender reaches on a single for the second time this game.
And it's like the Braves have like the script to this game, because Vastine went running, and Bender hit a ground ball right where J.C. Cologne would have been if he didn't have to go cover the second base bag. It's just a hit and run to perfection, and that's the type of impact you can make when you run and when you get big leads, even if you're not getting credited with stolen bases, because it could have been a double play if Vastine wasn't running. Instead, you got runners on the corners with nobody out.
Caden Bodine now coming up to the plate. Takes first pitch in for a ball. He was up in a similar situation in the first inning, ended up doing an RBI sac fly to left field, going right down the line, staying in fair territory. He takes the second pitch in high and outside for ball 2. Bodine coming into today batting .379 with 16 RBIs and 10 walks. Lefty standing at 5'10" in the box. Takes the third pitch in for a ball, so 3 balls, no strikes. No outs. And the Braves once again threatening on the bases early. As that pitch comes in on the inner part of the plate for called strike 1.
You got an interesting dilemma here. Your best pitch has been your fastball, but it's also a hitter's count, and Bodine might see it coming here if you want to throw it.
The 3-1 comes in on the outer part of the plate for ball 4, and that'll load the bases. So Major unable to hit the spot.
Now batting, the right fielder from the University of Arkansas, number 8, Kendall.
That'll bring up Kendall Diggs now, who had a funky chopper to Major to end the first inning. As we've got time called. Derek Bender out at second base having a conversation now with his coach. Looks to be trying to stretch something out in his right leg. He's shaking it. That's a guy that if you're Bourne, you really don't want to be sidelined. It looks like he'll be okay. He'll head back to the second base bag. And coach head back to third base.
Well, it helps that he's the designated hitter today, because he doesn't, he can go back in the dugout and get some treatment or whatever he needs to do. And if he was catching this game, he's got that leg issue. That may be something that you get a little more concerned about.
So still no outs here in the bottom of the third. The Gatemen facing bases loaded situation for the Braves, and the pitch comes in bouncing before the plate and over Yadi Hernandez, and Jonathan Vastine will easily cross home plate as the ball just bouncing out of range for Hernandez to grab and get back to the plate in time.
Counting 4 stolen bases, 2 wild pitches today. It got a swing, so it's a strike. But the problem is they're calling time. But the problem is that you throw a curveball with a runner on third, then you're really it's a big issue, because just like there, Hernandez couldn't block it.
And it looks like now we'll have a pinch runner, Cameron Foster, coming in for Derek Bender at third base. So there, you would assume something going on with Bender. Not gonna make any guesses as to what that is, but Cameron Foster now will take his place on the third base bag. Caden Bodine still now standing at second, advancing on that wild pitch. Kendall Diggs stands in with a 1-1 count, still no outs. Gateman trying to work out of a jam here. Major fires in, chopper foul down the first baseline, picked up by the Bourne first base coach, sticking it in his back pocket. So 0-2 count to Diggs. Major gonna want to get this one. Infield in. Everybody standing on the lip of the grass. And a chopper right in front of the base. Charging on it is Brooks. Fires over to Grant Hussey at first base for the only play he can make, and the first out of the inning. That will bring in Cameron Foster. And the Braves extend their lead 3-0.
Now batting, the second baseman from Rutgers University, number
Diggs
13,
did
Joshua Kuroda.
just enough. Brooks, by the time he got to it, it was going to be too late to try to get Foster, who was running on contact with the ball hitting at the ground. And another example where Bourne uses stolen bases, they use wild pitches to turn singles into kind of extra base hits, or at least have that effect.
Joshua Kuroda-Grauer now standing in the right-handed batter's box. Takes first pitch low for ball 1. Caden Bodine over at third base, itching to get down that line and cross the plate as well. Infield still playing in. So we've got time called a bit. JC Cologne adjusting something over at shortstop, and Kuroda-Grauer adjusting his arm piece in the box. Everybody trying to stay loose. It's a long day of baseball both of these teams have ahead of them. The sun coming out makes it fairly warm. 1-0 pitch comes in high and tight for ball 2.
Looks like Bryson Schaefer is getting loose in the Gatemen bullpen down in right field. You hope that you don't have to bring Bryson in for a little bit. Hopefully you can get Aiden through at least 3 innings.
The 2-0 comes in low for ball 3. Major just close to the zone on that one, but not quite. And Kuroda-Grauer didn't bite. So he'll have a 3-0 count, fully in his favor. Takes that one in on the inside part of the plate for strike 1. Major gets the sign, comes set from the belt. Comes in for called strike number 2, and we've got a full count now to Kuroda-Grauer. And this is one that you feel Major's really got to get for the Gatemen to try to get back in this one and get out of the inning. 3-2, bouncing in the dirt on the plate. And we'll send Kuroda-Grauer down to first base to have runners on the corners again for this inning for the Braves. 1 out. And Garrett Michelle coming up to the plate.
Yeah, well, Major just doesn't have his A stuff today, and Ryan Smythe's going to go out to the pen and make the call, so this is going to be all for him. But just control was never really there today. It was a little bit of a disappointing start after he had hoped to take some momentum from the last one.
And that's something the Gatemen are going to be super pleased with in a day with 2 7-inning baseball games where you're hoping that your starter can go a little bit longer. But it'll be Bryson Schaefer coming in to relieve Major. We'll get you all the information on Schaefer when we get back.
Tom and Jean Yawkey were passionate about baseball. Over 7 decades as owners of the Boston Red Sox, the Yawkeys greatly invested in youth and amateur athletics. They recognize the important skills baseball can bring to players both on and off the field. The Yawkey Foundation has been proud to support the Cape Cod Baseball League for more than 25 years.
As a proud sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League, the Mass State Lottery is celebrating the games we love playing, from the baseball diamond to the many lottery games that help support all 351 cities and towns across the Commonwealth. So here's to 100 years of Cape Cod baseball and 100 more. With competitive pay, state-of-the-art facilities, and opportunities in service, sales, accounting, HR, marketing, IT, and more, a job at Milton Cat, the Northeast Caterpillar dealer, is more than a career choice, it's a choice career. Visit miltoncat.com/careers to join their growing team.
Summer, our players are able to track and monitor their development thanks to our title sponsor of the 100-year anniversary, Baseball Cloud, whose data tells the whole story. Baseball Cloud gives fans like you the opportunity to access each player's stats and historical data. Baseball Cloud technology is ushering the next 100 years of the Cape Cod Baseball League, inspiring and exciting the next generation of players and fans. Learn more at baseballcloud.com. Cape Cod Central Railroad takes guests past marshes, cranberry bogs, dunes, and other places only accessible by rail. You can enjoy a daytime ride with narrated tales on the history of the canal and how cranberries are harvested. Or enjoy a relaxing weekday lunch or Sunday brunch. Maybe a sunset dinner train is just the ticket. Cape Train is conveniently located at the Buzzards Bay and Hyannis train stations in Cape Cod, Massachusetts, along the coast of New England. Come explore all the Cape Cod Central Railroad has to offer.
T-Mobile is proud to sponsor the Cape Cod Baseball League. T-Mobile believes that when small towns thrive, America thrives. That's why they're investing billions to bring fast, reliable, and affordable wireless service beyond the big cities to small towns across America. There's never been a better time to join T-Mobile. Visit T-Mobile.com/acrossamerica to find out more.
The Gatemen are proud to partner with Franklin Sports as the official batting gloves of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Throughout the summer, all Cape League teams are wearing their own custom team batting gloves courtesy of Franklin. From the Cape League to the big leagues, it's all hands on deck. Bryson Schaefer now on the bump in relief for Aiden Major here at Doran Park. Major allowing 3 runs to score during his time on the bump, Bourne with a 3-0 lead here in the bottom of the third. Gatemen not out of it yet with 1 out and 2 runners on. Schaefer coming in with a 5.55 ERA and 11.1 innings pitched. He last pitched against Bourne on the 5th. Pitched 3 innings, 2 earned runs, 3 hits, 4 strikeouts, and 3 walks. He'll face Garrett Michelle in his first batter with runners on the corners. First pitch comes in for a ball, and heading down quickly to second base is Josh Kuroda-Grauer, who got a good jump and an uncontested stolen base as Yadi Hernandez hung on to that one with Caden Bodine still standing on third base. So we've talked about it time and time again as the pitch comes in for strike 1. The Braves just doing all they can, taking advantage of everything on the base paths today so far.
Isn't this funny? Schaefer came in that Bourne game to face Michelle, who homered off of him. It was the first batter he faced.
1-1 comes in outside for ball 2.
Maybe not funny in the effect of that, he hit a homer off of him, but just how, history repeats itself. Hopefully not fully in this point,
right.
But Michelle and Schaefer for the first time today.
If you're Wareham, you're hoping pretty much anything but that. Michelle takes the pitch inside. Yadi Hernandez asking for an appeal down to third base to see if Michelle went around on the swing, but he did not. So a 3-1 hitters count to the Braves first baseman standing in the left-handed batter's box, taking on the left-handed Schaefer. And he lines one chopper down the first base line, grabbed by the Braves first base coach. So a full count. 1 out in the bottom of the third. Braves looking to add on to their lead. Schaefer looking to shut it down. Infield in. Pitch comes in, liner in the grass, rolling slowly. Hussey grabs it, throws to Hernandez, and it makes the tag to get the out at home for the second out of the inning.
It's a great play by Hussey. A little surprised there that Bodine tried to come home. Pretty hard hit ball to first. Hussey picked it with the backhand and didn't rush the throw. Made a strong throw to the plate. Hernandez slapped the tag on and put it on him for a big second out.
Runners on the corners still, but 2 outs now for the Braves here in the bottom of the third. New Contradas up to the plate. Schaefer's first pitch in is fouled back just to our left, just to the left of our producer Braden Shank.
Our other Gatemen broadcaster, Aiden Blanc, is I think the biggest New Contradas fan. I heard a "Let's Go New" chant breaking out when he came to the plate the first time.
Pick back to first base. Caught in between is Michelle. Hussey makes the tag, caught him in a rundown, and the Gatemen taking advantage of opportunities on the base paths now. We'll head now to the top of the 4th inning. The Braves lead 4-0 here on the Gatemen Baseball Network. Curry College is where you go to become anything you want. Curry prepares students to engage in successful careers with learning beyond the classroom. Explore our offerings, including new programs in brain and cognitive science, business analytics, coaching, forensic investigations, marketing, and transformative justice. Check us out online at curry.edu.
T-Mobile is proud to sponsor the Cape Cod Baseball League. T-Mobile believes that when small towns thrive, America thrives. That's why they're investing billions to bring fast, reliable, and affordable wireless service beyond the big cities to small towns across America. There's never been a better time to join T-Mobile. Visit T-Mobile.com/acrossamerica to find out more.
Well, the Gatemen got out of the bottom of the third inning in a peculiar way, catching Garrett Michelle, trying to swipe second base, but the run did cross the plate in the process of him getting caught in a pickle. So the Braves have a 4-0 lead now as we head into the top of the fourth, and once again these two teams only playing to 7 innings, as it's the first of 2 games in today's doubleheader. The Gatemen trying to figure out how to get something going against Tristan Smith, who's, as we've talked about, Jack, just become more confident on the mound, has a little bit more speed to his pitches, and able to shut down the Gatemen offense.
Yeah, well, similar to his last outing versus Katuitt, where he gave up a run in the first inning, 3 consecutive base runners reached with 2 outs, and he was able to get more comfortable, establish himself as the game went on further, and ended up turning in a nice outing versus the Cavaliers, doing the same thing tonight. Struggled a little bit in the first inning. The Gatemen couldn't get a run across, left 2 on, and since then he's been dominant, including the last frame where he struck out 4 batters in the same inning.
Grant Sherrod set to try to get something started for the Gatemen. Flied out to right field in his first plate appearance back in the first inning. Sherrod out of South Carolina Upstate takes the first pitch in for a called strike. He's batting .273 coming into today for the Gatemen. Been with them for almost all of July, his first game coming on July 9th. The 0-1 from Smith popped up, ranging over, gonna get just over the netting behind the plate and bounce off the press box. Somebody made a really nice catch as it bounced off the roof.
I'll excuse the Phillies jersey that the kid is wearing. I'll give him credit. It was a nice catch.
Hey, Scott Rowland got inducted in the Hall of Fame yesterday. I think he can give a little leeway there. 0-2 to Sherrod on the outer part of the plate for ball 1.
If it was a Rowland jersey, sure. It's a JT Realmuto jersey, and the Phillies are 12 games out of first place now. So
okay, you're lucky as a Braves fan, Atlanta Braves that is. As that pitch comes in bouncing before the plate to even up the count at 2-2. I gotta distinguish because the Gatemen are playing the Braves right now. Sherrod standing at 6'3", 220 in the right-handed batter's box. Takes a hack and sends that one high up in the air. Calling for it is Bodine, ranging over and making the grab as he gets back into fair territory with his knee on the line for out number 1.
yeah, as you can hear, the wind is going and it's blowing out, and so that ball was hit straight back pretty much, and then it started getting some spin towards the fair territory. And Bodine, if he had dropped the ball, it would have been a fair ball.
But he did not. And it's 1 out on the board on the top of the fourth for the Gatemen. Grant Hussey now standing in. Flied out to center field, his first at bat back in the first inning. The lefty takes first pitch in for strike 1. Hussey is first on the Gatemen active roster with hits with 21. He's tied with Garen Caulfield for that number. Pitch comes in high, up near his eyes for ball 1. Caulfield, another big guy, standing at 6'3", 225, takes a pitch inside for ball 2. He's got a lot of power in his bat when he can make contact, but he's struggled to make contact as of late. We've talked about the 2 hits he got in the All-Star game, maybe sparking something for the West Virginia Mountaineer. 2-1 pitch, fouled back near the third base side, down the line into the stands somewhere. Lost track of that one, but Hussey now with a 2-2 count. 1 out, the Gatemen trail by 4. Chopper down the first base side, hitting off the netting of the Gatemen dugout. So Hussey stays alive, trying to crack Smith, who's been oh so effective for the Braves so far today. Smith gets the sign from Bodine, comes set, fires in, fouled back into the netting once again. Hussey kind of nodding to himself as he readjusts his batting gloves. He's close, but not quite into figuring out these pitches in this at-bat. So we'll do it again with a 2-2 count. Pitch comes in on the outer part of the plate for ball 3. A little bit of chirping from the Braves fans about that one, but Hussey now stands in with a full count. 1 out, no runners on. Gatemen looking to get something going. Smith fires in. Called strike 3 at the knees of Hussey. And he knows it as he heads back to the dugout as the second out of the inning.
It's a tough pitch to get rang up on because the high strike has been there for Smith, and so you're looking out for that, and you got a tall guy in Hussey, and when you get a pitch that kind of clips near the knees, it can be tough to change your eye level and take it there too.
Yadi Hernandez now stands in. Flied out in his last plate appearance. Takes first pitch in for a strike down the middle. Hernandez, the righty, has been very solid for the Gatemen behind the plate as he takes the 0-1 in for a ball on the outer part to even up the count at 1-1. He's struggled a bit at the plate just to get comfortable and feel confident. He says he can kind of get too much in his head when he's up there and just needs to relax and try to keep things simple. He stands ready. The 1-1 pitch comes in low and outside for ball 2. Two 1 from Smith inside for ball 3. A hitter's count now for Hernandez. Hernandez coming into today had 5 walks on 11 hits, 50 at bats this season. He readies for the 3-1. Lines it out to right center. Coming in on it is the center fielder, and making the dive is the right fielder. Kendall Diggs on a run, sliding, and making the grab for the third out in right center field. So the Gatemen are retired 1-2-3, making some contact but unable to get a hit and get on base as they still trail 4-0 as we head into the bottom of the 4th inning here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Wareham Walmart is your one-stop shop for all the essentials before and after the game. Visit them at 15 Toby Road in Wareham for all of your food, clothing, and more. Wareham Walmart is a proud supporter of the Wareham Gatemen.
Take me out to the ball game. But first, take me out to the beach with Red Jacket Resorts. The Red Jacket Resort Collection is the official hotel of the Cape Cod Baseball League. With 5 waterfront hotels in Yarmouth, Red Jacket Resorts are perfect for family fun and sun before every game. Book your next mid-Cape escape at www.redjacketresorts.com. Del Mar Vacations proudly sponsors the Cape Cod Baseball League. With over 350 properties across Cape Cod, there's no easier way to experience your favorite Cape League team than staying with Del Mar Vacation Rentals. Book your dream vacation today at thisisdelmar.com or call us at 508-247-0395 and discover the beauty of Cape Cod, where lifelong memories are made. Del Mar Vacations and the Cape Cod Baseball League, your ticket to an extraordinary getaway.
Do you know the sound Dunkin' Ice makes? Of course you do. It's the sound of summer, and summer sure does sound good. Try all the Dunkin' refreshers, iced coffee, cold brew, and lattes. Dunkin' Ice, Cape Cod Baseball League runs on Dunkin'.
Welcome back to Doran Park. The Gatemen trail 4-0 as we head into the bottom of the 4th inning, and to take you the rest of the way, here's Jack Hunter.
Thank you, Amanda. Bryson Schaefer coming on in the bottom of the 3rd inning, getting the last 2 outs, get some help from his defense. Gets a caught stealing. A run did count and score for the 4th run of the game, but they did get that 3rd out when Garrett Michelle got stuck in between first and second base after Schaefer picked him off. It's Contradas, Chafreda, and Peterson, 8-9-1 for the Bourne Braves, who are 9 points ahead of Wareham entering play today with 35 points. 2 wins today for the Braves could give them some serious room and
push them one step closer to clinching a playoff spot. Contradas in, first pitch to him. Breaking ball, line drive right field. It's going to get down in fair territory and tightrope the line. Sherrod cuts it off, smokes it to second, but Contradas is in there with a leadoff double on the first pitch.
Well, that's just some really solid contact from Contradas there, getting it right in the perfect spot down the right field line. Obviously, nothing that Grant Sherrod could do about it except for running over and throwing it back in.
Here's the lefty Pete Chafreda, who's going from Lafayette to Rutgers next year after some good years with the Panthers. First pitch breaking ball misses outside. Schaefer has been extremely dominant against righties, but has struggled mightily against lefties this year in what they call reverse splits. The lefty takes a few looks, comes home. Ground ball to Caulfield at second. On the run, slings it sidearm to first for out number 1. It'll move Contradas to third. But against righties this year,
Now batting, the center fielder from the University of
those
Iowa,
hitters are hitting .222 against Schaefer. That's 8 for 36. Against lefties this year, they're hitting 18 for 37, which is .486. He's allowed 2 homers as the righty Sam Peterson stands in from the top. First pitch. Breaking ball, foul tipped. It gets a piece of Hernandez behind home plate. Peterson has been held quiet today, both on the bases and at the plate. He has not reached base, so he's not allowed to torment the Gatemen on the base pass after stealing 4 times in the last meeting between these two teams. 0-1. Breaking ball, fouled back to the screen. The Gatemen infield playing in with new Contradas leading off of third base, 1 out. It's 4-0 Bourne here in the bottom of the 4th. The Gatemen still do not have a hit. Here's the 0-2. Breaking ball misses outside. Hernandez stabs it to knock it down.
You can tell with the infield playing in so much because Bourne has had so many runners on third base. The emphasis now is really to stop the bleeding, limit the bleeding if you can, keep more runs from crossing the plate while you try to get some of your own.
The pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. Schaefer going with the slider and getting a wave and a miss from Peterson for a big second out.
Now batting, the
And it'll be
shortstop,
up to the all-star Jonathan Vastine
number 2,
as the lefty
Jonathan
standing in.
Vastine.
Vanderbilt Commodore. He's got the black compression sleeve on the front arm. It's his throwing arm when he plays shortstop, and the black elbow guard. He's got an assortment of wristbands on the left wrist. First pitch, breaking ball, club to center. Coming in, now coming out is the center fielder Bobby Bozer, who grabs it for the third out. So a leadoff double. Contradas is stranded on third base. Bryson Schaefer works a nice bottom of the 4th inning. We go to the 5th now with your score Bourne 4, Wareham 0 here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Whether it's auto, homeowners, business, or liability insurance, the folks at Legacy Insurance are sure to lend a helping hand. Legacy Insurance has built their reputation through their emphasis on service and loyalty to their customers. Stop into their Wareham office at 213 Main Street or call them at 508-295-1316.
Would you like to work for the United States Postal Service? We want you on our team. We have carrier openings all over the Cape. You must have a valid driver's license and a good driving record, and you must be able to pass a pre-employment background check. You can find all of the information on these jobs and other open positions at www.usps.com/careers. Your application will be accepted online only. Begin a great career at the United States Postal Service. Kiernan and McNally, LLP, is a law firm with an outstanding reputation for achieving successful results, helping a diverse range of clients with their legal needs. Our attorneys focus on your individual needs and achieve successful results. Call our office at 508-985-9888 to learn how ready Kiernan and McNally can help you.
To the 5th we go on the Gatemen Baseball Network alongside our producer Braden Shank, my broadcast partner for Game 1 here today, Amanda Foster. Jack Hunter with you. The Gatemen still looking for their first hit of the ball game. It is Bourne 4, Wareham 0. Bourne 4 hits, no errors. The Gatemen with those 0 runs on 0 hits with 1 error. Big reason why Tristan Smith, who set down 13 straight batters dating back to Michael Brooks in the first inning. He struck out 4 batters in the 3rd inning. The reason behind that being a drop third strike set the Gatemen down 1-2-3 in the fourth. Josh Stevenson, Corey Morton, J.C. Cologne, 7, 8, and 9 in the lineup due to meet him here in the top half of the fifth inning. Smith wrapping up his warm-up tosses. The throw down to second from Bodine is pretty solid. Now the lefty, Josh Stevenson, will come into the batter's box, do some yard work with it, scrape it around a little bit, get those once white lines to diminish even more. Smith working from the windup, the lefty has his sign and fires. It's a fastball that misses low. Stevenson has hit safely in 4 out of his last 6 games, hitting a little bit over 200. 0 for 1 with a strikeout. The pitch. A check swing. He thinks it hit him on the hand, and he's immediately going to run back to the dugout as the throw to first. It's going to be in time. A late time call, or dead call, from Jeffrey Merzel. They let him play. Stevenson was running back to the dugout because he's in pain. And then Merzel put his hand up about halfway when he was back to the dugout and called it a foul ball.
Now Smythe having a conversation with Merzel as the trainer heads out to talk to Stevenson. Looks like it's his right hand. He's trying to waggle his fingers around. Anywhere in that hand, wrist area. Lots of little bones and everything. It's just it's a dangerous place to be hit.
There's a check swing tapper back to the mound. Stevenson made the detour back to the dugout, and then when he was almost there, Merzel put his hands up and said foul ball, even though the play was followed through 1-3. So Smythe, Stevenson, and Sarah Warren, the athletic trainer, are out there attending to Josh. He's still shaking those fingers around. Smith idling on the mound. It'll remain to be seen whether Stevenson will stay in this game or not. And now he's taking his batting glove off to get a look at the finger. The Gatemen are short outfielders. Bobby Bozer's in center right now with Sherrod in right, Stevenson in left. And after the departure of Nick McLean over the past weekend, you really don't have that many options in the outfield. Corey Morton is the 4th outfielder, and he's the designated hitter today. So if you have to take Morton out of the designated hitter spot, then you lose the spot.
Right, and with another game coming up right after this one as well, if you're trying to save anybody, then you have to substitute somebody in. Like you said, there's not really a whole lot of options in the outfield. There would have to be some reshuffling, maybe all around, and definitely just reshuffling of plans for the rest of the game and the game tonight.
So Jeff Merzel behind home plate is going to call a conference in front of the mound with J.C. Fernandez and Mark Piantadosi. They're going to talk about the outcome of this play because Bourne finished the play and then they called time and blew the play dead. So Ryan Smythe waiting on the other side of the foul line here on the first base side where we're located. Stevenson looks like he's good and ready to go if the at-bat is going to continue. Not the first injury we've seen today. Derek Bender had to leave the game. They're going to call him out. So Stevenson is going to have to go back. It'll go 1-3 in the book. Here's Corey Morton now.
An unfortunate series of events for the Gatemen as a whole. Obviously, one of your players getting hit and then waiting around and having an out be the final call.
Here's Morton, first pitch to him. A low strike. Now the 0-1. Fouled back to the screen. The Gatemen did just activate Jimmy Chatfield from Yale, but he's at least told me he's only going to be here as a pitcher. We'll see. 0-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Fastball low in the zone gets Morton to swing for the second out.
I mean, you never know. If you got position players coming into pitch sometimes, why not maybe sometimes put a pitcher out in the outfield?
8 punch-outs now for Tristan Smith. 2 outs in the inning. Cologne coming up. Smith is not allowed to hit. He's now set down 15 straight batters. And now the first pitch to JC. Skips to the plate. Takes a funky hop off of the catcher, Caden Bodine. Nobody on base, so as the ball trickles away, not a sense of urgency to grab it. Smith has matched his season-high 8 punch-outs. He did it against Hyannis. Went 5 innings, no walks, 8 strikeouts there. He walked the first 2 batters of the game here tonight. 1-0. The fastball misses up in the zone. Bobby Bozer in the leadoff spot is waiting on deck. Here's the 2-0. Big swing and a miss. Fastball on the outer half that Cologne goes reaching for. He's falling over the plate as he waves and misses. The 2-1. Fastball just misses low. So if you remember the game before the All-Star break, Katuitt had a no-hitter going deep into the game, into the 8th inning, got through 7 1/3 no-hit innings. Bourne through 4 2/3 tonight. 3-1. Fastball that just catches the zone. Cologne, who tossed the bat, is going to have to go back and get it and get back in the box with the count full.
Happened a few times to the Gatemen so far tonight, either thinking strike 3 wasn't strike 3 or ball 4 wasn't a ball 4 or
and this one is ball 4. Cologne will trot the first as it skips to the plate.
Now batting.
This looks to be Tristan Smith's game to continue rolling, and especially in a 7-inning game. But Ryan Free from Texas Tech, wearing number 5, is starting to get loose in the Bourne bullpen. Here's Bozer, back to the top. He's 0 for 1, struck out in the 3rd, walked in the 1st, pitched to him. Fastball head high, misses for ball 1. And with that, Scott Landers will jog out to the mound. Landers was a pitcher in college. His expertise or specialty per se is pitching. He was an assistant with Brewster for 2 years as their pitching coach in 19 and 21. And as the head man here for Bourne, has assumed a lot of those responsibilities dealing with pitchers. So this is going to be a quick trip to the mound as he's going to go over some plans with Tristan Smith, the Clemson Tiger. Smith, not the first Clemson Tiger the Gatemen have seen this year. They saw Austin Gordon from Brewster twice. Smith was a highly regarded freshman recruit. He was the number 6 freshman in the nation as he picks back to first. Cologne back in there with now his front of his jersey completely covered in dirt. Number 1 freshman in the ACC rated by Perfect Game coming into this year. Comes home, popped up out of play, count even. This Cape opportunity has been so big for him. He didn't have a bad first year, but he only started 6 games, appeared in 18 others, had a 4.55 ERA. He's gotten the chance to start out here. He's making his 4th start, and he's been pretty electric. 1-1. Hit high, pretty deep to left center field. Going over is Chifreda. He'll grab it for the 3rd out. So what an outing for Tristan Smith. He retires up to 15 straight before losing it with a walk, and then retires Bozer to end the inning. It's 5 no-hit innings for the Clemson Southpaw. We go to the bottom half of the inning with your score: Bourne 4, Wareham 0. Welcome back here to Doran Park, home of the Bourne Braves. Cameron Foster will be leading things off with Caden Bodine and Kendall Diggs hitting behind him, 3, 4, and 5. Foster awaits the first pitch from Bryson Schaefer. Here it is. Fastball up and away for ball 1. Foster was a pinch runner for Derek Bender in the 3rd inning. Bender left the game with a leg injury, came up hobbling. Foster from Liberty, the big righty, pops it up, foul out of play behind us, just going over the light fixture and clanking against some of the stone bench seating behind us that was recently put in this offseason by the Braves. The Braves have been calling Doran Park home since 2006, played at 2 prior stadiums, including Hindy Field at the Mass Maritime Academy. 1-1. A slider that bends in there for strike 2.
You mentioned Foster, a big guy, stands at 6'4". Relatively large strike zone for Schaefer to work with.
The 1-2 to him. Did he go? Yep, Jeff Merzell says he swung on a slider that kissed the dirt for out number 1. So Foster's first at bat, he goes home empty-handed, and now Caden Bodine will flip around to the right side for the first time this evening. Bodine's had a productive day. He had a sac fly to left field in the 1st inning. Walked in the 3rd. Got cut down on a fielder's choice at the plate. The freshman All-American, switch hitting catcher, first pitch. Breaking ball misses a little low in the zone. Bourne is coming off of a 13-3 loss to the Falmouth Commodores. Bodine did homer in that game. 1-0. Blasted to left field. This one is going to hit down and bounce over the left field wall. So it'll be a ground rule double for Caden Bodine. If you hit that a little higher, that thing would have cleared the fence. Instead, it clears it on a bounce. It's a 1-out double for Bodine.
Well, and that came off
Now
his bat
batting, the right fielder
in a
from the
hurry.
University
There's
of Arkansas,
a whole lot of
number
power
8,
behind
Kendall
that hit,
Diggs.
and if it, like you said, if it had been just a little bit higher, would have been out really before anyone could have blinked.
It's Bodine's 3rd double of the year. Talked about his prowess at the plate, hitting just under 380. Is not qualified enough to be on the league leaderboard. First pitch to Kendall Diggs in there for strike 1. Diggs made a tremendous diving catch earlier in this game. Actually had been on SportsCenter earlier this year for a sliding grab near the right side warning track. 0-1, missing outside. Schaefer set, ready to deal to the lefty. In there for strike 2. Bryson Schaefer just completing his first year with Coastal Carolina. Spent 2 seasons with 2 separate junior colleges in Florida. The 1-2. A breaking ball in the dirt. Diggs thought about going, but does not. Diggs out of Arkansas, teammates with Jake Faraday. Was teammates growing up with former Gateman, now Keegan Allen. Now the 2-2. Fouled off at the plate. It hits off of his front ankle. Diggs is hitting .267 on the year. Has hit a double in 3 straight games. Just finished his sophomore year for Arkansas. Ready for the 2-2. A long look to second. Here it is. Slider off of the outside corner. The count runs full. Bodine is on second. He had a 1-out double. It's 4-0 Bourne here in the bottom of the 5th inning. In a 7-inning contest. It's the first of 2 games here this evening. Payoff. Cut and a miss. A nice breaking ball that sweeps away from the bat of Kendall Diggs. A big second out.
Well, it's going to be important for the Gatemen,
the second baseman
for the
from
rest
Rutgers
of this
University,
game
number
to work as
13,
quickly and
Joshua
efficiently
Kuroda
as
Grauer.
possible defensively.
Here's the Rutgers second baseman, Joshua Kuroda Grauer. He's He's had a busy day. He's stolen 3 bases. First pitch on the outside corner, strike 1. Including stealing home in the 3rd on a double steal attempt. Michelle got cut down at 2nd, but the damage was done. JKG ended up scoring. 0-1. Hit him on the wrist, and he'll take first base. He's shaking what appears to be his right hand. Looks like he's going to be okay. Landers is going to stay in the dugout. It'll move the line.
One of those pitches that looked like it kind of just
Now batting,
flipped
the
off
first
the wrist,
baseman from
the
Virginia
finger
Tech,
area, not
number
solid
19,
contact.
Garrett
So
Michelle.
yeah, he's not in too much pain. He'll be able to continue.
Here's Garrett Michelle. Bryson Schaefer got some revenge on Michelle, as we talked about last time we were here at Doran Park, July 5th. Michelle took Schaefer deep. Michelle was the first batter he saw. First pitch, up and in. There's going to be no appeal, even though Hernandez 1-1. And then the first time Schaefer faced him here today, it was also Schaefer's first batter he faced today. Michelle grounded into a fielder's choice. Now the 1-0. Fastball pumped in the zone for strike 1. Schaefer with a black glove with a teal outline marking the Coastal Carolina letters. The lefty working from the stretch. Comes home. This time on the outside corner for strike 2. Schaefer, very short arm action, hides the ball well behind his back left hip. Comes very east to west across his body as he comes home, as he does now. Fastball just misses the outside corner. Count even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. We are on the campus of the Upper Cape Technical School. A lot of construction going on, including right behind us. The batter's eye is just a mound of dirt. 2-2. In the dirt, another full count.
Not the easiest batter's eye, but also not the worst. At Mass Maritime, there's a big white house out in center field that can't have been easy.
Runners will be moving with 2 outs. The pitch. Fouled off right back to us. Clanks off of the stone ledge right in front of us. Picked up by a bad girl.
I was ready for that one.
Would have been a routine ground ball back to us if
yeah.
only the net wasn't there. Contradas waits on deck. 2 runners on. Bodine on second. Kuroda Grauer on first. The payoff again. Fouled at the plate. This one may have gotten a piece of Michelle's hand as well. Nope, they're going to say it hit him. And a loud sound for it to hit him in the hand. That's now 2 hit batters in the inning, and the bases are loaded.
And it looked like Yadi Hernandez was in a little bit of pain of some sort after that
Now
happened
batting,
as
the
well.
third
Not
baseman
sure if
from
it might have
Arizona
flipped
State
him.
University, number 3.
Took a little
New
second to
Contradas.
recollect himself before he went back behind the plate.
So Schaefer's hit 2 batters this inning. No runs across yet, but the base is loaded. Pitch popped up, out of play. It clanks against the top of the net.
So my buddy knew. He's batting here. He's from Hawaii.
This guy?
Yeah. He plays it
You're friends with the enemy?
0-1. Blasted right side, Sherrod coming over, and he's gonna play it on a hop. 2 runs are gonna score. It's Bodine and Kuroda Grauer. The throw into second gets away from Cologne. The 3rd run is now gonna come around and score as Contradas boasts into second. A 2 RBI single, scores a 3rd run. He advances to second on the error, and it is all Bourne here. It is now 7-0.
Oh, and there's not a whole lot Sherrod could have
Now batting,
done
the
with
left
that
fielder
ball.
from
You know,
Rutgers
you
University,
try to
number
charge in
24,
on it, but then you risk
Pete
it getting
Chubrada.
past you. But then the issue is when the throw is not in line and it's not caught, then the runs that would have scored anyway. That's kind of what happened in this situation.
So 3 runs across. First pitch, fastball high in the zone, almost hit Chafreda. Here's now the 1-0. Fastball just misses off the outer edge. 2 balls and 0 strikes to Chifreda. Pitch. Fastball in there. Now the 2-1. A swing and a miss. Count level at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 outs in the inning. It's now 7-0 Bourne on 6 hits. Now the 2-2. Slider that just misses outside. Count full. And now the payoff pitch. Broken bat, fisted right side. Caulfield's got to hurry. Throw to first, and Hussey drops it. Chifreda safe at first, and the wheels are falling off here in game 1.
A really good effort by Caulfield, who was out near the outfield grass there, and Hussey's struggled a bit throughout the game just to snag balls and make good catches. You know, it's a pretty
Now
simple
batting,
play
the
for
center
him to
fielder
make.
from the University of Iowa, number 22,
do
Sam
so.
Peterson.
Back to the top. Here is Sam Peterson with Chifreda on first. Pitch misses down and in. We have no official score yet. I would presume that to be an error on Hussey, but we'll see. 1-0. Up and in. Ball 2. Check swing on a pitch that's a called strike on the outside corner. So Bourne with 1 in the bottom of the first, 3 in the bottom of the third, 3 here in the bottom of the 5th tonight. Schaefer still on the mound. And now the 2-1. High and wide. A hitter's count with runners on the corners. Contradas on third, Chifreda on first. And the pitch misses, ball 4.
This is exactly what you don't want if you're the Gatemen. Too many free passes.
Now batting, the
3
shortstop
errors.
from Vanderbilt University, number 2,
And
Jonathan
Bourne is a team that will
Bastine.
take advantage and clearly has taken advantage of anything they can get. And when you're handing things to them, it just makes it worse.
First pitch to Vastine. Misses high in the zone. So the throw in from right after the Contradas single was errant, but I did not see them post an error for it. And now the 1-0 pitch across for strike 1. So it is coming across on point streak, but not on the scoreboard here. 1-1. Slider at the bottom of the zone. Punches it for strike 2. Vastine is the 9th batter to the plate here in the bottom of the 5th. 2 hit batters, 2 errors in the inning. Pitch, cut and a miss, strike 3, and the end to a long inning. Schaefer strikes out the side, but the Braves come across 3 times on just 2 hits, 2 Gatemen errors, 2 left for the Braves. Let's go to the 6th. 7-0 Bourne here from Doran Park. Well, for the
As a proud
second
sponsor of the Cape Cod
consecutive
Baseball League, the Mass State Lottery is celebrating
game,
games
the
we love
Gatemen
playing.
have
From the baseball
been no
diamond to
hit
the
by
many
a
lottery
starter
games
through
that help
5
support
innings.
all 351
Tristan Smith's day
cities
is
and towns
done
across the
after
Commonwealth.
5
So
innings,
here's to
no
100
hits
years of
allowed,
Cape Cod
no
baseball
runs,
and 100
2
more.
walks, 8 strikeouts. He gives way to Brady Aftham from UConn, who has been very solid this year. He's 2-0 with a 1.8 ERA across 6 appearances. Last appeared in a 10-2 win over Brewster. 2 innings pitched, 2 hits, no runs, 0 walks, 3 strikeouts. The righty standing at 6 feet tall, 205 pounds. He's about to finish his warm-up tosses with Garen Caulfield. Michael Brooks, Grant Sherrod do up 2, 3, and 4 in a pivotal doubleheader here today at Doran Park, with the Gatemen 9 points back of 4th place Bourne with just 10 games to play.
You're
Now batting,
kind of at a point if you're the Gatemen. Obviously, coming back and winning this game would be great, but you also want to have some momentum and some energy and feel good going into the next game. You don't want to go in, getting no hit and then having to play the same team over again in 30, 45 minutes later.
Afton working from the stretch, set just above the belt, fires. Fastball off the outer edge for ball 1. Brady is a 4-pitch guy, mostly working with the fastball in the low 90s. Slider, curveball, and changeup to follow. He's pitched 10 innings here in Cape Cod after 21 this past year for UConn. Delivers outside for ball 2. Afton had a 3.91 ERA in 26 appearances for UConn out of the pen this past year. 2-0. Caulfield shoots it to right field. Diggs is not going to have to move very much. He comes in and grabs it for the first out.
Now batting,
F9
the
in
third
the book.
baseman from the
That
University
will
of
bring
Kansas,
up Michael
number
Brooks.
5, Michael Brooks.
We were talking about Bryson Schaefer's reverse splits and that he fares better against righty batters. Well, here Michael Brooks, you would think maybe would fare better against lefties, but this season at Kansas was much better against right-handed arms. He's facing one for the first time tonight in Afton, who comes home. Fastball at the top of the zone, a little inside 2, called strike 1. Brooks is 0 for 2, struck out looking in the 3rd. Sees the 0-1, down for ball 1. Bourne is looking to bounce back in a big way after losing to Falmouth 13-3. That was the same day in which Wareham lost 14-4 to Cotuit, so some blowouts inside the division. 1-1, fastball yanked outside. And the interesting thing was, too, is that Cotuit had a 3-game stretch before Wareham played them where they gave up double-digit runs in every game and then almost no-hit the Gatemen. Bourne giving up 13 on Friday to Falmouth, and here have not given up a hit as we are in the top of the 6th. 2-1, just off the inside corner.
Unfortunately, the only common denominator there is that the Gatemen are getting no hit.
Brooks looking on, awaiting the 3-1. Here it is, high, ball 4, and Michael Brooks has worked a 1-out walk. So you put a base
Now
runner
batting,
on
the right fielder from the University of
in
South
front
Carolina
of Grant
Upstate,
Sherrod.
number 4, Grant Sherrod.
From USC Upstate. Had a historic year for the Big South School. The righty standing in, waiting his first pitch. Here it is. A big swing and a miss at a fastball sinking low in the zone.
This is something that Gatemen have struggled, is that you put runners on however you can, but then the offense has not always been able to bring them around. Obviously not so much the case today because there is a no-hitter going on, and I will say that perfectly comfortably. But the point still stands, is that regardless of if guys get on via the walk, if your offense can't bring them in, the buck stops there.
After a pick to first, Afton back on the mound, comes home with the 0-1. A big swing and a miss, this time up in the zone. Sherrod swings through it. Grant has been one of the more productive bats in the Gatemen order recently. He did not play on Friday at home versus Cotuit, but has a hit in 5 out of his last 6 games. In his last game versus Chatham, he had a season-high 2 hits. Here's the 0-2. Cut and a miss. 3 fastballs, 3 swings, 3 misses. It's Brady Aftam's first strikeout of the evening.
Now batting, the first baseman from West Virginia University, number 27, Grant Hussey.
Here's Grant Hussey. Hussey 0 for 2 today. He's now 1 for his last 16 at the plate with 8 strikeouts. With Brooks leading off first with 2 outs, Aftam comes home. Chopper back to the screen. Aftam just finished his sophomore year for the Huskies. He's been very consistent, had a 3.6 ERA his freshman year in 22 games. We mentioned a 3.91 ERA in his sophomore year in 26 games. Not a heavy strikeout guy, pitches to contact. The 0-1 pitch. Takes a little off with the changeup, gets a swing and a miss. This is the 4th meeting between these two teams this year. The first 3 separated all by 1 run. It's a 7-0 Bourne lead here. Now the 0-2. Skips to the plate. A good stop off the face mask by Bodine. It'll keep Brooks at first and keep Hussey at the plate. Aftam has finished 2 games this year for Bourne. He's gotten a save in 1 of them. 3 walks to 11 strikeouts. Now the 1-2. Cracked right side through, a base hit into right field. It's a broken bat, so headed softly to Diggs. Because of that, Brooks is going to take third base. Now runners on the corners here with 2 outs, and that's the first Gatemen hit of the night. The no-hitter is gone.
Now batting, the catcher from Seton Hall University, number 24, Yadi Hernandez.
So for the 2nd consecutive evening, the Gatemen wait to have their first hit until the starter is out of the game, but they get a little earlier tonight and looking to flip the result in a tough 14-4 loss on Friday to Katuitt, maybe turn it around here. Down just 7 runs.
Odds slightly more in their favor today. I'm not going to try to do the math, but they've only given up half as many runs.
First pitch to Yadi Hernandez, a strike, fastball. Yadi 0 for 2 with 2 flyouts. He's now 0 for his last 10 at the plate. He's in his most prolonged dry spell of the year after starting out very hot. The 0-1. Fastball, punch right side out of play, just past those stone benches that a few fans are sitting at behind us.
The crowd filling in a lot more as it gets past 6 o'clock and people get out of work.
Here on a Monday evening, July 24th, Bourne up 7-0 here in the top of the 6th. 0-2. Ground ball, hard hit to second, slows down a little bit in the grass. Kuroda Grauer has it. To first he goes for the 3rd out. So the Gatemen get their first hit across, but can't get them home. In the inning, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, 2 left. We go now to the bottom of the 6th. It's still Bourne 7, Wareham nothing here on the Gatemen Baseball Network.
Whether it's auto, homeowners, business, or liability insurance, the folks at Legacy Insurance are sure to lend a helping hand. Legacy Insurance has built their reputation through their emphasis on service and loyalty to their customers. Stop into their Wareham office at 213 Main Street or call them at 508-295-1316.
Would you like to work for the United States Postal Service? We want you on our team. We have carrier openings all over the Cape. You must have a valid driver's license and a good driving record, and you must be able to pass a pre-employment background check. You can find all of the information on these jobs and other open positions at www.usps.com/careers. Your application will be accepted online only. Begin a great career at the United States Postal Service. Kiernan and McNally, LLP, is a law firm with an outstanding reputation for achieving successful results, helping a diverse range of clients with their legal needs. Our attorneys focus on your individual needs and achieve successful results. Call our office at 508-985-9888 to learn how ready Kiernan and McNally can help you.
Jimmy Chatfield makes his
T-Mobile is proud to
Gatemen
sponsor the
debut.
Cape Cod Baseball
The
League.
Yale
T-Mobile is offering
Bulldog,
20%
soon
off
to
to new
be
customers
South
when they
Carolina
switch their number to
Trojan,
T-Mobile
just
on a new
arrived
T-Mobile
with the team
5G
this
Plus
morning after
plan.
getting signed
Visit
on
your neighborhood
Friday.
T-Mobile store or
He's a
T-Mobile.com
right-handed
to learn
reliever
more.
standing at 6 foot tall, weighing 190
Take
pounds.
control of your future today with the
He said he
life-changing
got the
opportunities
call
in the U.S. Army.
earlier this week.
With
They asked him
opportunities for
how,
adventure,
earlier
training,
last
and
week,
over
they said, how
150
soon can you
career
be there? He
paths.
said
The
just a
Army's
few
the way to
days,
be all
and
you
he's
can
here.
be.
The
Visit
two-way guy
goarmy.com or
will
stop by your
come
local
in to
recruiting
pitch
station
here
to
for
learn
the
more.
Gatemen
Find out if the Army's
and
right
for
for you
Bourne
at
this inning.
goarmy.com.
We'll go back to the top. With Amanda Foster, Jack Hunter here on the Gatemen Baseball Network. Good to have you
Tom
with
and Gene
us.
Yawkey were passionate about the game of baseball. Over their 7 decades as owners of the Boston Red Sox,
The
the
Gatemen
Yawkeys greatly invested in the youth and amateur
down
athletics in our
7 to
community.
0
They recognize the important skills
as we
baseball
go to
can
the
bring
bottom
to players
of the
both on and
6th.
off the field.
Bryson
Cooperation,
Schaefer's day
respect,
is done.
teamwork, friendship, and confidence. The Yawkey Foundation
got
has been
7
proud
outs.
to support the Cape League for more than 25 years.
3 hits, 3 runs, 2 of them were earned. Hit 2 batters, struck out 4. Chatfield finishing his warm-up tosses, and we've got a Chapman and a Chatfield in the bullpen.
You read my mind with that one.
Now batting, the designated hitter from Liberty University, number 21,
It's going to be Foster
Cameron
leading
Foster.
off here this 6th inning. Foster, Bodine, and Diggs. If you remember, Bender got taken out earlier in the game due to injury. Foster pinch ran for him. The first pitch for Jimmy Chatfield is a fastball fouled off. Jimmy Chatfield says he's got a fastball, changeup, slider. Likes to work with his fastball and his changeup. Working from the windup, the 0-1. Pitch darts inside, misses everybody, including Hernandez. Foster struck out in his first at-bat. Pitch at the low part of the zone for strike 2. Vastine struck out in the 5th inning in the 2-hole. It was a successful inning, though, for Bourne, scoring 3 times, 2 of them earned. Here's the 1-2. A breaking ball that skips too far in front of the plate. Foster does not swing. Cam is hitting .273 on the year. Has been with Bourne for most of the season. Still looking for his first homer. Now the 2-2. Fastball yanked outside. Count runs full.
His stance at the plate, Foster's, is interesting because he squeezes himself together. He gets in so tight, but clearly he has so much power in his swing.
Payoff pitch. Roped left side. Foul. Cam playing at Liberty University in Lynchburg, Virginia in the ASUN Conference. Me and him, both proud graduates of Westminster.
There you go.
In Atlanta. 3-2. Fouled back to the screen. Cam's a big guy. They have him listed at 6'4". I wouldn't be surprised if you give him the extra inch at 6'5". He's an all-region basketball player in high school, holding down the Westminster Wildcat front court. Chatfield looking on for the sign, glove covering the face. He's got it. Here it is. Blasted to right center field. Now coming on is Sherrod. He makes the catch as he decelerates into it for the first out.
Foster forced to kind of reach out for that one, stuck his hands out pretty far to make contact with that. Not a whole lot of
Now batting,
power behind
the catcher
hit.
from Coastal Carolina,
Easy play
number
for
45,
Sherrod out right.
Caden Bodine.
So Chatfield came in this morning. Our producer Braden had to show him around Spillane Field when he got there. Asked him before the game if he was hot today, and he said, I hope so. And I hope to come here to pitch the baseball. And lo and behold, not even 24 hours here, and he's in the game here with 1 out. First pitch misses high to Caden Bodine, who was one of Bourne's many All-Stars. Had a hit in the All-Star game. A big 7-1 win for the West Division. The wind in the 1-0. Another fastball up in the zone. We mentioned Chatfield as a two-way guy. Hit .275 and 142 at-bats for Yale this past year. And misses high again. Now 3 balls and 0 strikes. He appeared just in 8 games for the Bulldogs. Started 2, but only pitched 10 innings. 3-0. Another upstairs fastball, 4-pitch walk issued to Bodine. In the bottom of the 6th inning here, this could be
Now
Bourne's
batting,
last
the
trip
right
to the
fielder
plate.
from the University of Arkansas, number 8, Kendall Diggs.
Here's the lefty hitting right fielder, Kendall Diggs. 0 for 3 on the day, looking to add on to a big offensive day. First pitch curveball, misses just high. Chatfield had a good summer in the NECBL last year pitching the ball. 6 games, 10 2/3 innings, only 1 run allowed. He misses high again, now 6 straight balls.
You got to think at least a little bit of this might be due to nerves. We talked about how quickly he got up here, and now you're coming into a very big game, a big spot, despite the score. First Cape League appearance is nothing to laugh at.
There we go, he gets one across, fastball outer half. Chatfield, like a few guys we've seen that have been brought in the last few weeks, not playing anywhere else this summer. This is his first action since the spring season. Fastball inside corner in there for strike 2.
You can pitch as much as you want in a cage or, but real game experience is completely different.
Set above the letter. 2-2. Fastball pushes Diggs off the plate at head level. Now we've got a full count. 1 out in the inning, so Bodine may or may not be taken off. 5 stolen bases for the Braves today. Chatfield will pick back to first. Jimmy, the San Diego native. Will be sticking out there next year, playing for the Trojans. Payoff pitch. Looped. Second base side. Caulfield cannot see it, or at least he dekes that way. He ends up finding it and catches it for the second out.
Yeah, the sky is not the kind where you would expect to lose a ball.
Now batting, the second baseman from Rutgers University, number 13, Joshua Kuroda Grauer.
So Joshua Kuroda Grauer steps in with 2 outs in the inning. Chatfield gets a weak swing. First pitch up in the zone. Kuroda Grauer's had an interesting day. He reached on an error, stole a base, walked, stole 2 bases, including home, and then got hit by a pitch and scored all in one day. 1-0, fastball misses inside. This is the 4th of 6 meetings between these two teams. The 5th one will happen right after the conclusion of this ball game. The 6th one on the 31st at Bowler Park. 2-0, fastball there for strike 1. Kuroda Grauer's been struggling a little bit at the plate. He went 0 for 4 on Friday with a strikeout. Batting average hovering a tad bit over 200. 2-1. Shot right side foul, out of play. Flock of kids will go running after it. For the kids that want to get the foul balls, should have been here at 4 o'clock. There's only about 3 or 4 of them. Now that group has doubled or maybe even tripled in size. 2's across the scoreboard. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The pitch. Fastball just misses up and in. So a few full counts this inning here for Chatfield. The runner Bodine's going to be taken off here with 2 outs and a full count. The payoff pitch. Ground ball, right side Caulfield sliding, has it to first. He goes with it for the 3rd out. So Jimmy Chatfield works a scoreless bottom of the 6th in his first appearance in a Gatemen uniform. And it's the last chance now for the Gatemen, down 7-0 as we go to the top of the 7th.
Cape Cod Coca-Cola thanks you for supporting the Cape
Last
Cod
chance
Baseball
for the
League
Gatemen.
and for
They
refreshing
find themselves
yourself
down
with an ice
7-0
cold
as we go to the
Coca-Cola
top of the
Please
seventh.
remember to recycle your empty bottles,
Josh
cans, and all other
Stevenson, Corey
recyclable
Morton,
materials
and J.C.
in the
Cologne
bins.
will lead it off for the Gatemen. 7, 8, 9 in the order, all due up. It's the first of a 7-inning doubleheader today. Bourne has struck early and often. 1 in the bottom of the first, 3 in the bottom of the third, 3 more in the bottom of the fifth. Alongside our producer, Braden Schenk, and my broadcast partner, Amanda Foster. Jack Hunter with you here from Doran Park, talking to you from the second time this year. The first one was a thrilling victory, 5-4 for Bourne on a walk-off hit by pitch.
Now batting, the left fielder from Ohio State University,
It was an
number
interesting
16,
way to end that
Josh
game
Stevenson.
after Caden Bodine had gotten nailed behind the plate multiple times. He gets hit to end the game. Kind of like a Scott Sterling moment if anybody's seen that YouTube series out there. Brady Afton still out on the mound, the righty. Set, fires. Stevenson fouls it back.
You've just recalled like a core memory for me watching that video for the first time. I totally forgot about that.
And while we are making other sport references, our producer Braden and myself saw Brady Afton at the driving range earlier this year. And let me say, if his pitching career doesn't work out for him, he's got a bright career in golf. 0-1, fastball off the inside corner. I mean, if we had a headset right now, I'd ask Braden to attest to this, but I mean, he was hitting some lasers on the range.
He's nodding. We'll take that.
Never a bad day at golf shots, driving range in Wareham. Now the 1-1, skips to the plate, kicks off the backstop. His UConn teammate Corey Morton looming on deck. Stevenson had a weird trip to the plate last time. Check swing, may have gotten a piece of his hand as well. Got retired 1-3. Now the 2-1. Fastball up. He was running back to the dugout instead to first because he was hurting after he got hit. Now ready for the 3-1. Set, here it is. A big swing and a miss. Stevenson, you can tell that hand is still bothering him. The left hand coming off of the bat. So he's shaking it off still. He thought the pitch hit him, but it hit some of the bat too. In his last plate appearance.
No doubt he'll get some treatment in between games, but again, we were talking about this, don't know if you can really afford to have him sit.
Payoff pitch. Fouled back. We'll do it again.
Not a whole lot of outfield options for the Gatemen, and Stevenson, one of the more productive ones out there, if you will. He's had some great grabs this season, and a guy who's not bad to have on base when he can get there.
Afton has 4 straight scoreless outings, ranging 8 innings. No walks in that span either. Another payoff pitch. Skips to the plate. That's a walk, and it leads off the top of the 7th. It would be a good time here
Now
for
batting,
Corey
the
Morton to get
designated
his
hitter
first
from
hit in a
University of
Gateman
Connecticut,
uniform.
number 53,
He is
Corey
0 for
Morton.
11. And once again facing his UConn teammate.
Might give him a slight advantage if they ever did batting practice or anything together. He might know a little bit more of what Afton throws.
First pitch, fastball there for strike 1. Morton nodding to the side. I don't know how much he liked it. The Gatemen with just 1 hit. It's a jam shot, broken bat from Hussey in the 6th. Long look, 0-1. Fastball up in the zone. Did Morton go around? Yes, he did, says Mark Piantadosi at first. Morton in the right-handed batter's box. The skinny outfielder awaits the 0-2. Here it is. Fastball just off the outside corner.
There's a dog that started barking, and my first thought was that it was a called strike call, but that's not how Merzel calls his third strikes anyway. Just the gut reaction was strange.
1-2. Fouled out of play, and the funny thing about this job, a little inside the scenes look, is we kind of almost start scouting the umpires at this point in the year. We've had Merzell a few times behind the plate. We had him on opening day. And so you really start to kind of learn how he calls strikes, how he calls strike threes, you know, where his zones are, how he likes to call the game. 1-2. The breaking ball misses outside. J.C. Fernandez is at third. We've had him a few times this year. I think we've had Merzell the most out of any umpire, though. The 2021 Cape Umpire of the Year. Now the 2-2. Just off the outside corner, and Morton runs the count full against his spring teammate.
Morton's got a feel for the zone right now, leaving that one out there. That would have been an easy one to take a hack at.
Now the payoff pitch. Cracked foul on the other side of the third base line, near the third base coach's box. Mike Mobbs with some quick reflexes to get out of the way of it. So Morton starting to work some better at bats here, getting deeper in counts. He's got a 3-2 count. The Gatemen looking to get their first run of the evening across. Trefreda had to go get the ball out of play. He's now back in his position at left field. After the righty, tan glove, the Bourne Braves in the white uniforms. Another payoff pitch on the way. Popped up on the infield. Contradas coming over. Vastine calls him off and grabs it for the first out.
Obviously, if you're Morton, you would have liked to get a hit, but like you said, it's a good sign that he's been able to make a little contact and see the ball
Now batting,
around the
the
zone, in the
shortstop
zone a
from the
little
University
better.
of Missouri,
Figure it's
number
only a matter of
32,
time before
J.C.
he
Cologne.
is able to figure stuff out.
Here's J.C. Cologne, who's reached base twice today. One of them was on a drop third strike, so not going to help him in any way. A walk in the fifth as well. Pitch misses down. Cologne getting obliterated by a dust storm stirring up at home plate. He's going to have to get it out of his eyes.
He's got dust on his pants, on the front of his jersey, and his eyes, everywhere.
Now the 1-0. Hit foul, just catches a piece of the net. Bobby Bozer collects it on the on-deck circle. We'll toss it across to a Bourne bat boy. If Cologne can stay out of the double play, Bozer will come to the plate for the fourth time. It'll be his first time not facing Tristan Smith, who is in line for the win. 1-1. Fastball up in the zone. Cologne lays it off. Bourne 7 runs, 6 hits, no errors. Wareham 0 runs, 1 hit, 2 errors. The last time we were here at Doran Park, Bourne committed a season high 4 errors, but still won 5-4. 2-1 offering. Hard ground ball left side. Vastine gets under his glove into left field. Tried to backhand it, but could not. And J.C. Cologne has his first hit of the evening.
Now batting, the center fielder from the University of South Florida, number 6, Bobby Bozer.
So now the Gatemen with 2 runners on. You've only got 1 out. You can string together some hits and maybe make this thing a little interesting here. Bozer walked to lead off the game, continuing to pump that league-leading walk total up some more. First pitch to him. Cranked left side, but it's going to hook foul. If he can straighten that one out, it may be 7-3.
Bozer's got power behind his swing. We just haven't seen it a whole lot because of the amount of times he's walked.
27 of them to be exact. The righty from South Florida, slight bend to the knees. Getting ready, and now takes it outside. The next contest should start at 7 p.m. It might start just a tad later considering that we are within 30 minutes of that. 30 minutes should allow these teams to eat up. It's been a long 7-inning contest. 2.5 hours. Pitch. Fastball high.
Well, the last time these two teams played was another long one and a full 9 innings. Not out of the ordinary for Wareham and Bourne. Wareham especially played some really long games this season.
Now the 2-1. Fastball upstairs and a hitter's count for Bobby Bozer. He's got 3 home runs on the year. All of them have been to right center field. As Scott Landers starts to pace around on the top step of the dugout. It's just outside of it now. He'd love Brady Afton to get him out of this inning and for him not to have to use another pitcher here in this doubleheader. Now the offering. Misses high, ball 4. Another walk for the Walks King, number 28 on the year and number 2 here this evening.
Whatever works to get on base.
The bases are loaded, and Scott Landers will now make the
second
slow
baseman from
trot.
University of Arizona, number 20.
He's got his eyes on the
Darren
Bourne
Caulfield.
bullpen. Afton is in his 2nd inning of work, has gotten 1 out here. 7-0 Bourne in the top of the 7th, leg 1 of this doubleheader. Here in game 35 of the year for both of these clubs. Bourne is sitting in 4th place at 17, 16, and 1. Wareham in 5th at 12, 20, and 2. Dorian Gonzalez with this trip to the mound is going to pinch run for Bozer at first. Landers is going to go back to the dugout. He's still looking in the bullpen. He's not going to make the change. It'll be the 3rd mound visit of the 6 allotted for the Braves. Here's Garrett Caulfield, the All-Star, with the bases loaded and just 1 out. Stevenson's on 3rd. Colon is on 2nd. Dorian Gonzalez now on 1st. He's pinch running. Caulfield, the righty, standing in. First pitch to him. Fastball upstairs. Caulfield bending out of the way of it. So Brady Afton has been a marksman in terms of control this year. A different story here today. Afton's gone 8 innings prior to today, now 9 if you include today, without walking a batter until this inning. 1-0. Big swing and a miss. Caulfield swings under it on a low fastball. Afton pitched against Wareham, a scoreless inning in the 9-8 loss on July 6th. This is the only team in the West he's pitched against this year. 1-1. Popped up, right side, out of play, behind us. And a nice grab out there by a fan behind the stone benches. Caulfield now behind in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Bourne has been solid against teams in the West recently. They have not been against teams in the East. Kind of the opposite of Falmouth, who we played on Friday. 1-2. Fouled back to the screen. High fastball. Caulfield gets a piece of. Bourne has lost 5 of their last 6 games against Eastern Division opponents. They're 4-6 in their last 10 after playing their best baseball near the end of June and the beginning of July. More specifically, right after the Gatemen walked them off on June 18th. Bases loaded. 1-2 pitch on the way to Caulfield. Skips to the plate. Good stop by Caden Bodine behind the dish. Afton, one of those pitchers, rare pitchers you see wearing single digits. He's wearing number 7 in that white Bourne uniform with white pants with Braves cursive scripted across the front. Afton comes set. The 2-2. Inside, we've got a full count, and there's nowhere to put Guerin. Shadows starting to creep in. Home plate mostly covered by shadows. Afton at the mound in the sun. Payoff pitch. Cut and a miss, strike 3. Afton goes with the fastball. And Caulfield retired for the 2nd out.
That's a great pitch by Afton, great pitch placement, a little up high in the zone.
Now batting, the 3rd baseman from the University of
Coming in
Kansas,
as a
number
fastball,
5,
like you said,
Michael
Caulfield just not
Brooks.
able to touch it.
The last hope for the Gatemen, down 7 runs here, is Michael Brooks. Stevenson, Colon, and Gonzalez on the base pass. Here at Doran Park, the Braves looking to close out the Gatemen And the pitch hits Brooks. It's just a piece of them. And the Gatemen have their first run of the contest.
Now batting, the right fielder from the University of South Carolina Upstate, number 4, Grant Sherrod.
The line moves to Sherrod. He can't tie the game with one swing, but he can certainly keep the line moving, as Brooks did before him. Sherrod, the big righty, the right fielder. First pitch, chopped off of himself at the plate. Sherrod wearing number 4 for the Gatemen. It's got that black helmet with the U for USC Upstate. Green shin guard, the Washington native. The 0-1. Swing and a miss. High fastball. Sherrod comes up empty. The Gatemen are down to their last strike. Bourne 7, Wareham now 1. Tristan Smith, the highlight of this game for Bourne, throwing 5 hitless innings in this 7-inning contest, first of a doubleheader. 0-2. Inside. Sherrod staying alive. Afton looks into Bodine. Has his sign. The righty. Bob it around. Set. And fires. Fouled back to the screen. Sherrod got a good cut on it. But sent it backwards.
Sherrod has yet to reach base today. He's got to be itching to do something.
Some slight claps coming from the Bourne side. They're ready to see the Braves go down in the scorebook as a winner. Pitch. Chopper. Contradas has it on the bounce. Goes the short route to second. Kuroda Grauer snags it. And that's your ball game. The Bourne Braves win game 1 of this doubleheader by a final score of 7-1. And a big outing for Tristan Smith helps him get there, going 5 hitless innings. And Bourne gets win number 18 of the year. Wareham moves to 12-21 and 2 with the loss.
When pitching was the name of the game throughout, Wareham unable to get a hold of Tristan Smith, like you said, unable to really get much going after that, even after Smith came out, and Bourne with solid control throughout the entire game today.
So Bourne with the win.
Today's doubleheader. Thanks for coming out
improves to 37 points on the year, 11 points ahead of last place Wareham. And if game 2 wasn't a must-win game already, it definitely is now. So that's where we'll leave you tonight here from Doran Park. Appreciate you joining us here on the Gatemen Baseball Network, alongside our producer Braden Shank and my broadcast partner Amanda Foster. Jack Hunter saying so long from game 1. We'll talk to you in about, 30 minutes, with Aiden taking my spot for game 2. Bourne winning 7-1 here in game 1. Have a good evening, everybody.